exploded. He exploded too. Noobs with shotguns. What the fuck? Oh, look, another shotgun. Noobs with shotguns. Another shotgun dead. Noobs with shotguns. Again, a shotgun. What a surprise. Noobs with shotguns. Boing. Fucking shotgun that, motherfucker. 7 kills, baby. Boing. That's awesome. That was so sick. That's awesome. That was so sick. Super shotty. Take that shit. 7 kills, baby. Boing. That's awesome. That was so sick. That's awesome. That was so sick. Super shotty. Take that shit. He exploded. He exploded too. 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 Noobs with shotguns. What the fuck? Oh, look, another shotgun. Noobs with shotguns. Another shotgun dead. Noobs with shotguns. Again, a shotgun. What a surprise. Noobs with shotguns. Boing. Fucking shotgun that, motherfucker. Boing. Noobs with shotguns. Boing. Noobs with shotguns. Oh shit! Oh my god, that was amazing! Punch, push, Falcon, punch, push, bitch, Falcon punch, push, Falcon, punch, bitch, Falcon punch, push, Falcon, punch, push, bitch, Falcon punch, push, Falcon, punch. Oh, quick time event. Down, circle. To the right, to the left. X, square. Oh, lamp attack. X, motherfucker, X. I like my X. I like to push that shit. Triangle. Oh, yeah. Circle. Oh, yeah. To the right, to the left. To the right, to the left. To the right, to the left. Bitch. To the right, to the left. To the right, to the left. To the right, to the left. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I wiggled that shit. Fuck you. I did the wiggle. Bitch, Falcon punch. Push, Falcon, punch. Push, bitch, Falcon punch. Push, Falcon, punch. Bitch, Falcon punch. Push, Falcon, punch. Push, bitch, Falcon punch. Push, Falcon, punch. Go, bitch, go. Go, bitch, go. Go, bitch, go. Go, bitch, go. Go, bitch, go, bitch, go, bitch, go. Lock the door. Throw the TV on the floor. Holy shit. All right. What? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hold on. I got this.
What's going on?
We're back.
Phil! Phil!
Oh my god, I've been snaked. I've been snaked. The
That's
camera's...
the year of the snake, Phil. How are you enjoying the year of the snake, bro? I should have got my Randy Orton Viper shirt on. I don't have one, though. I should have ordered it express with the big fucking snake on it, Phil.
I used to have the original Randy Orton shirt where he did the pose, the first pose ever. That old school pose, and it was dope.
Yeah.
But the thing fell apart because it's just like a white outline logo, and it would crack.
Yeah.
You know, it falls apart. But that was a dope shirt from way, way, way back in the day. So anyway, what's up, everyone?
It's Steve with a steel chair. Fuck on. Dark Side Phil has been taken out by Steve. What a dastardly bastard.
Coast to coast, smashed his face in. So what's up, everyone? What's up? Welcome to the show. Sorry for the technical difficulties there at the beginning. Today is February 18th, 2025. I'm DSP. That's PPP. This is Smark, guys, our wrestling commentary show, and I hope that you guys are having a good night.
as we are on the road to Elimination Chamber. These last few weeks have been a lot of kind of filler build up for the Chamber, and this week with Monday Night Raw, it was absolutely no exception whatsoever. It was a lot of qualifying matches, a lot of filler, and a lot of stuff. People are saying the music is still playing, but it is not. It is absolutely not. What are you guys talking about?
They're messing with you, Phil. They're
This-
messing with you.
Oh yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, so PPP, how you doing, man? How was your week? How's everything going?
Oh man, it was good. I'm worried about you though. Apparently you're on self-deletion watch. Every day's been a struggle.
Oh.
You lost your smile.
Definitely.
You've been miserable. Are you making it,
Oh,
King?
I can barely get out of bed in the morning. Let me tell you, I got to have both
Oh,
Kat and Jasper pushing me out of bed to get
they're
functional.
motivating you every day. Get up, King. Get up. You can win. You can get him, Rock. Get up. You're a contender.
Ugh.
We got to get you in there for the rematch against Clubber Lang.
Oh
It
my
wasn't
God.
fair, Phil.
Listen,
It wasn't fair.
The truth is, I just have never faced any criticism at all. So now that I finally got some criticism,
I know.
I just can't take it. I just, I fall like a house of cards. What can I say?
Listen, for the record, Phil handled it. Phil handled that interview because the thing is, they wouldn't let Phil talk. So all you're doing is like preaching. It's like a solo video. Oh, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. It's like, well, are we gonna catch Phil in a gotcha or not? You have to let him talk to get him. And they couldn't do it because they knew that Phil's righteousness would shine through. But Phil stayed positive. He stayed professional throughout. He didn't rage quit the call like people thought. The heat was cranked up all the way. It was the ultimate grill Phil, the inferno in hell. And yet Phil stood strong. The segment was only supposed to be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
He did nearly double that. They pulled out all the tricks, all the stops. They had surprise detractor appearances, NDAs, polygraph tests, all the gimmicks, all the tricks, and yet none of it could put an end to Dark Side Phil's community, the positivity, the streak, the goal. Phil doubled the goal upon his return, and Steve showed his true colors as nothing but a yellow-bellied snake in the long grass. We tested Steve's loyalty, saw if he was going to be a team player, and Steve went into business for himself, not once, but Steve, I'm aware now tonight, you went into business for yourself again and leaked conversations to detractors. Very disappointing. Steve, you're fired, Steve. Steve is fired from the Keno Casino staff. We're not going to see the stench of Snake Steve ever again on the Keno Casino or on the Dark Side Phil airwaves. Steve has been eliminated.
Wow.
Steve has been whacked because he's a deceitful, lying grifter.
Wow.
Shame on you, Steve. You tried to grill Phil about his money, yet you took money yourself, Steve. You took money to spread lies about Dark Side Phil and his family, his supporters, his business.
Wow.
Fucking shame on you trying to smash this man's rice bowl. He's a fucking internet legend who's given us over 15 years of memories and moments. What have you done, Steve? Where the fuck are your accolades? Where are your big moments? Where are they, Steve? I'm waiting. Your biggest moment is Phil. Phil made you. You're nothing without Phil. You're nothing without me. You're a low down, dirty bum, Steve. And you ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself associating with the scum of the earth. I saw you on that Detractor podcast. What's wrong with you, man? They will eat you alive and they will spit you out. You think that they're going to have loyalty to you, brother Steve? No, they won't. No, they won't. Once they're done milking you for everything that you're worth, they'll turn on you. They'll go after you and your business and your family, just like they've done to Phil, Steve. And in the end, you'll be nothing. You'll be nothing but the shit on Dark Side Phil's shoes, Steve. So that's it, buddy. The detractors have no loyalty. It's not positive like Phil's community. It's all negativity, toxicity, trolling, and the like. That's not what this program is about. So let's get some subs. Let's get some donations. Let's go.
Real talk, all right? All ridiculous extrapolation aside,
What?
that
That-
that interview, all right? Like, here's the thing. If you're gonna get someone in an interview and you're gonna try to like get them with gotcha questions or back them into a corner, the idea is that you present something that you think is like indisputable, and then you let the person respond in a way that backs them into the corner. And basically, what you need to do, you need them to either self-incriminate or make themselves look bad. But the problem with the interview was he literally wouldn't even let me respond. Like, I would try to respond to something, and he'd start like getting angry and yelling, and then moving on to the next thing. It's like, but we didn't even get to that answer yet.
And that was the thing too, Phil. He would crank down your volume while you tried to answer and raise up his voice. It was the oldest trick in the book, the OBS audio manipulation. He was screaming over you. He was angry. He was agitated. He was seething. Whereas you were calm. You were cool. You were collected. You were the eye in the center of the storm. The thing is, DSP is the storm. That's what Steve doesn't understand.
It sure seems like that way, and I don't understand why. I really don't.
You are the vortex, Phil.
Oh my God.
You are the storm. And so Steve may think, oh, he got one up on you. Oh, da, 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 da. But in the end, everybody falls to the DSP curse. There's nobody but anybody that outlasts the king of a live stream. Dark Side Phil. Many have tried. Many have come at the king, and they've missed. And the king took their head. Destiny was one of the most recent examples. Destiny tried to make fun of Phil for saying it was a buyer's market for cars. And what happened to Destiny? It may not happen the next day, or the next week, or the next month, or even the next year, or 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years. But eventually, all that come at the king are decimated. The king takes their head, leaves them humble and dead. All hail. It's true, though.
It's weird.
True.
It's weird because
longevity.
I don't lift a finger. I don't. Like, I'm like, listen, I easily could clap back at these people, come out of the woodwork over the years to try to drop my name to get some kind of notoriety with the internet crowd, right? I could go back at them. But I'm like, number one, I don't have a lot of clout. And number two, I don't like making that kind of content, quite frankly. I don't.
No.
I don't like making drama
Phil,
content.
When you say you don't have a lot of clout, that might be true in the internet sense. But in the universe, God smiles upon Dark Side Phil.
I guess so.
Whoever it is that pulls the strings of the universe, whether it be Jesus Christ, God, Allah, the Buddha, the Dalai Lama, whoever it is.
I swear to you, I don't have like a
fates up in Greek mythology, they smile upon you.
I have to promise everyone, I have to promise the internet someone, I actually do not have the death note over here, okay? I don't have that shit. I don't know what's going on that this stuff happens every time, but undoubtedly the people who fucking come at me somehow self-destroy themselves over a course of several years after they come after me, and I don't have anything to do with it.
The divine right of kings. You were born to rule the internet kingdom. You have the mandate of heaven. And that's the thing.
Or hell. It could be hell. I don't know.
You have the mandate of heaven, sire. And all those who come before you, one way or the other, are smited by God. Dark Side Phil has God on his side. And there's no way that Steve, a mere follower of science and logic, can battle with the mystical powers of the almighty Dark Side Phil.
That that might be it because I've made some of the most illogical choices that any human's ever made, yet I'm still here. But people who follow logic seem to get felted left and right.
Exactly. Exactly. There's no
That's it.
stopping it. There's no rhyme. There's no reason to it. There's no order. It's just pure chaos. It's the vortex, snortex, if you will. And all who step into it are destroyed, except for the king, who somehow rises above in the whirlwind.
Oh my God.
Storm, when the mighty waves rise, when the tsunamis come and they wash away all of the Johnny come latelys, all of the flash in the pans, never was, never will be anything. The legacy of Darkside Phil is elevated above all.
I love this
Washes
show, man.
them all away. They built their foundation on the sinking sand. You've heard the parable. The wise man who built his house upon the rock. And that's Phil. He built his house upon the rock of positivity, of building a community, upon consistency and work ethic. He built his business on the rock. But Steve, Snake Steve, built his business upon the shifting sands. The detractors built their business upon the shifting sands. And when the rain and the storms and the floods come in, the sand is washed away. You see, living on the sand is easy. You're on the beach. Ooh, I'm in the sun and the sand and the surf, and it's so nice. It's fair weather. But you get washed away in times of turmoil and distress. Whereas Phil stands tall against the winds and the rain and the floods and the turmoil. And he remains undefeated, undisputed. The king of the internet there.
There's something going on. All this gaslighting is really strong, man. I just kicking over my room over here.
It's all true. It's true.
I gotta go open the window. Let it out.
Your Majesty, this is no primal worm tongue display. Your Highness, Your Majesty.
Hold on, let me take care of it.
Unparalleled amongst the internet dynasties. None can rival the House Burnell, sire. None can rival it. There are many who have tried. They have all failed. The sands of time have defeated them. But you, the Colossus, stand tall, sire. A statue in the desert wilderness. Behold his name, Ozymandias, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. It is Philip Paul Burnell indeed, and his majestic dynasty. Long may he reign. Down with Snake Steve and his schemes.
Wow. If they really want Jey Uso to go over, they got to get you to be his manager on Raw to cut these kind of promos, man, because he can't do it for shit, but you are like the ultimate promo glazer on pod. If you went out there and you were like, Jey Uso's going to kick Gunther's, people would be like, whoa, I believe it now. Holy shit. He's going to fuck him up, you know? That's what they need.
You should hire PPP Zero, but should? I already am. What do you think this is?
Wow.
Tommy
All right.
Salami's not happy about it. And Tommy, welcome to Ban World, Tommy. No, we'll let you stay. We'll let you stay. King Burnell is merciful.
Wow.
His grace extends to even the most dented of detractors, even the most special needs amongst you, the ones that smell and stink and are obese. Even he, the legendary Phil, gives grace to thee. How lowly that thou art.
Well, I think after that very generous segment from PPP, we should do a couple shout outs for a few contributions that came in and then they get the show on the road, shall we? I think so. That was a pretty good segment.
Nathan Smith for 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Sterling. Great British pounds sterling.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like those. Those
slightly more.
A little bit more.
Exactly. They're slightly more.
The rest of you must step up your tributes to the king. Where are the tributes? Trumpeters herald his glorious march towards the wrestling show.
We start out, there was a $5 tip earlier on, so I want to shout that out, and it is from Slayer. Slayer with a $5 tip earlier, and he said, I wanted to say I'm not sure if you guys got to watch NXT Vengeance. I did not get to see. I was totally gonna watch it, and I forgot over the weekend. And last night I was like, there's no way I could watch that and Raw in one night. Like it's just too much fucking wrestling for one night. But so he says the show was great. I like the wrestling on there. It's more hard hitting and faster paced than the main roster. There isn't advertisement cuts, unlike the main roster. As for SmackDown, just to keep you up to date, Solo Sikoa has come back, but due to miscommunication, there'll be a rivalry between Jacob Fatu and him. That sounds fucking weird. Yeah, that sounds like a really misfire in my opinion that he wrestled Jacob. As for Raw, I'm not surprised that Judgment Day has lost all their matches. Well, we'll talk about that tonight, actually. And there's probably going to be a fight between Dom and Finn. I've been watching back WCPW and watching Pro Wrestling World Cup for the English and Scottish qualifiers so far. I would love that one day maybe you would watch that. That kind of stuff is free on YouTube. They have their own channel. Okay, well, thank you, Slayer.
Well, we're going to need some more contributions. We appreciate that contribution. But if we're going to be watching this indie UK fucking yard tard garbage, we're going to need some more money. We know that there's only one federation worth watching, and it's the WWE.
The big leagues.
Since Vince McMahon established it in splendor and glory, there has been only one company worthy of our attention. The rest are mere bingo halls filled with jabroni bums that you might like because they remind you of yourself. A pencil-necked geek with a small penis, sexually frustrated and stinking. But the real Chads, like myself, built like an Adonis, we watch WWE.
Let's see. There was another super chat, but he did it at the beginning of the show. I can't fucking see it. His name was NX something. God damn it. He had mentioned something about me and a picture of CM Punk, and I was like, I don't remember me ever being in a picture with CM Punk, so I don't know if it's a reference to something from a long time ago, because I think he said it was like from 2011. If you're still in the chat, if you wanted to bring that up. And also he had mentioned something about, I guess, Vince McMahon. There's some texts or some calls or something that exposed Vince McMahon at some point. I don't know about that. Yeah, so what is that all about? I don't even know what that's about.
I want to see two big black cocks in
What?
all of your holes. Oh, like, it's crazy, Phil.
What?
I want to see a big black man shit on your chest.
Oh.
And I want you to eat it up and tell me it's yummy.
Oh.
Like, this is the shit that fucking Vince McMahon was saying. He was forcing this woman to get fucking degraded. It's crazy stuff.
Oh my God. I mean, is it actually 100% confirmed that that's real shit?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's the whole basis of the lawsuit and why Vince had to leave WWE.
That's crazy.
Step down.
I just don't understand, like, and it's the same thing with everyone in power, like, particularly in the last, like, 5-10 years. This is happening so much with content creators, right? Like,
yeah.
Why would you say and do that shit somewhere where you absolutely know there's full traceability? Like, any cell phone text.
He'll always make sure there's no trace of his
No,
sexual
I have
impropriety.
so many burner accounts and phones, you've no idea. You know what I mean? This closet's full of them. But these people are so dumb. Like, dude, Dr. Disrespect. What are you, a fucking idiot? You were doing it in official DMs on Twitch. Anyone can access those who works for the company, and at any moment they're gonna get you for that shit. Like, what are you thinking?
Phil knows to use the Signal app, totally encrypted. It is a sponsor of the program. Darkside Phil says to use Signal encrypted messages when managing your mistresses and side pieces. Okay.
Unbelievable. We have a couple more super chats that actually came in. We have Rush S just did a $5 super chat. He says, can we get to some wrestling talk? Because this week's Raw was weak.
What are you talking about? That was a brilliant wrestling promo. And if you don't appreciate it, you're but a plebeian. Unfortunately, your head is just too small for this show.
Wow.
Maybe add a 0 to your super chat contribution next time. Although $5, you know, for this fucking hot dog stand isn't too bad. But let's get some big time, prime time donos. Holy fuck.
Maybe if we had some donos, we could upgrade the hot dog stand to like a fucking Nathan's or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a high-end place.
Yes. We
I
gotta
can,
get off level 1 here.
I
I don't
don't
know. We gotta make this the big time.
I don't have any title belts yet. I haven't been able to splurge
Yes,
on
and
anything yet for the
get
show.
Phil some title belts. Fuck. We need to get him the custom DSP spinner belt. Where it's
Yes.
his face in the middle, and he flicks it and it spins.
I'm sure they have it too. I'm sure you could get that too.
I'm sure it could be made. Maybe one of the detractors will make it, Phil. Who
They
knows?
probably they make everything else. I mean, they make full-size
Yeah,
puppets of me and fucking
you
body
hear-
pillows and shit. So I'm sure that they'll make
Did
the
you
belt
hear
now.
Review Tech he tried to get your face tattooed on his ass.
Oh no.
The goal was 50 subs. He couldn't hit it. Then he dropped it to 20 subs. He still couldn't fucking hit it. And even at 20 subs, the cost of the tattoo
Yeah, wait a minute.
outweighs the payment of the subs.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
make
he's
sense.
gonna take the loss. He's just looking for any excuse to tattoo your visage on his body so that he can forevermore be branded as the property of Philip Paul Burnell.
Oh my god.
and Burnell Enterprises for all
Well,
time.
Well, I
He's
said
like your
this.
slave, sire.
I said this the other day on stream. Someone had told me half this story, right? And I was like, I didn't know if he went through with it or if he's going to go through with it. I said, so what I should do is find out the exact picture he's actually going to put on his ass, and I should go file a trademark for it. So then after he does it, I literally legally own his ass after the
Yeah,
fact.
I think so. I think so. I think we should do a fundraiser for it. He wants to do you as Dracula from Castlevania. Like, what
What?
sort of freak comes up with these demented ideas?
When did I ever even?
Or you're
I never
sucking
dressed like
the blood from his
Castlevania.
ass?
Yeah, like
I
what?
don't know. I don't know, Phil. He doesn't even know the lore enough to know that you never dressed up like Dracula from Castlevania.
What the hell? I don't know. Weird.
What a piece of shit.
Rush did another $2 super chat and says, "What would be the goal for Phil to actually read all of Vince's text messages on the show?" Well, if it's really that bad, I don't know if I actually could, but maybe a censored version.
Let's get $100 right now, and we will pull up the Vince McMahon text messages and we will read them.
Oh my
But
god!
we need $100 right now,
Wow.
and we will subject Phil to the news of 2 black cocks inside of you,
Oh my
ripping
god!
your clothes, filling every orifice.
By the way, I missed it. Dick Jones gifted 5 memberships on YouTube, so thank you to Dick.
Huge support for the community that's built on positivity, that's built on the rock, the eternal rock of Phil, that will never let you down, the cornerstone of positivity. God bless. Thank you for supporting this incredible community. We love you. We love the fans. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. We would be in a fucking cardboard box on the side of the road.
I don't know about you. I would be. You know, that's actually the truth.
I would be thin. So thank you for allowing me to maintain my obese lifestyle. If it wasn't for these, supports, I might actually have to lose weight. Thank God I don't.
Wow. All right. Well, things are calming down.
That's it?
I guess that's
What?
it. I guess that's it.
But they're withholding.
That's it.
Why are they withholding like this? You guys have the money in your wallets right now. Certainly you have it on your credit cards. And if you don't, take out another credit card. The companies are calling out. They're begging for people to sign up.
Wow.
They're giving away credit to people with bad credit, no credit, anything. Just take out another credit card and type it in. Type in the goal.
All right, don't do that.
send.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't withhold.
Don't listen to him.
withhold.
Don't listen to him. Don't
be a
do that.
withholder. Don't be a withholder. Get a new credit card if it's maxed out. If you're tapped out and you're in withdrawal in your bank account.
Don't do
and
that.
There's nothing left and you're getting NSF on every fucking purchase. You're in overdraft. Get a new credit card. Get a line of credit if that's be preferable. Get a line of credit and send. Do not withhold. Do not delay because we need to read the Vince McMahon text messages on this show. Let's hit it, bish.
Wow.
Do not take your mom's credit card. I do not suggest that. We don't believe in fraud. We believe in bankrupting yourself through your own poor decisions.
Wow.
That
What
is
do you
the
mean?
bedrock of Burnell Enterprises.
Exactly. I'm the most versed on that.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, Phil can't tell any of you that it's wrong. He did it himself. So
What?
if Phil is,
That's the
if Phil,
opposite. It's the opposite. I
Phil-
can tell them
if
not to
Phil-
do it because I did it
no,
myself.
if Phil himself is willing to walk through that
No.
fire,
No.
then you should follow him off the
No.
cliff.
No.
You have to follow the
No.
leader, the leader, the
No.
leader.
Don't
We're
do
all
it.
following the leader wherever he may go, even if it leads us to bankruptcy, even if it leads us to terminal illnesses, even if it leads us to destitution in the
No.
streets or death.
Listen.
It is worth it to lay down your life for
Listen.
Philip Paul Burnell.
If you walk down that route, one day you're gonna get on a live stream and you're gonna get grilled by a guy that looks like a Timu Kylo Ren, and you don't want to go that way.
No,
all right, you don't want to do it.
Not Kylo Dent. No, not Kylo Dent. Fuck. He's disabled like the other detractors. Damn it.
Oh no.
Low. My God, it's a low blow to Snake Steve. Making fun of his disability, by God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, is anybody else going to support? Like, what are we at?
We are at $82 in
Let's
support
get it
tonight.
to 100 or else the wrestling talk isn't starting. I'm not kidding. There's John Diaper for the 5 subs.
5 subs.
I see, you got to play hardball with this withholding scum. These motherfuckers have the money. They just don't want to part with it. For whatever fucking reason, they don't want to part with it. And that I understand. You're fucking lazy, you're broke, your welfare cases, whatever. But the king needs the gold to be hit. So fucking cough up. Mooching slime? Like the freeloaders and the withholders are the enemy of this broadcast. That John Diaper, he's a legend. He's a king. He's a Chad.
For the record,
he has a harem of pussy. You know he's like the Sultan of Coochie.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He's probably a multi-millionaire tech bro on the beach in Miami sipping a margarita. Those are the people that support. The people that don't support live in their mother's fucking dank, dirty basements.
No, I'm not saying that.
Chained to a fucking Xbox 360 because they can't afford the new one. And they stink. And they're slime. And they're scum. Don't be withholding the king's tax.
Wow.
He owes it. And it will be paid to the last penny, damn it.
Wow. For the record, we massively appreciate the support. A lot more just came in, which I'm about to shout out. But I do not agree with the statements coming out of his mouth at all.
Max out your credit card.
No, don't do that.
Go into debt. Go to take out a second mortgage, a reverse mortgage if you're elderly.
No, not a reverse mortgage. Don't do that.
A reverse mortgage is necessary to ensure that we do not have to get real jobs. It's you who must make the sacrifice, not me.
Wow. Okay, I got to start doing shout-outs or else I'm going to lose track here.
All
So
right.
we had 5 gifted memberships from Dark Maggot. So thank you to Dark Maggot for 5 memberships. Just had 5 gifted subs from Suffa Horse.
Huge from Suffa Horse. Let's go. The legendary contributor Suffa Horse, a casino legend. One of the workhorses of making sure I never have to lose weight.
Wow.
God bless you and your contribution to our eternal struggle to never have to work. I love you.
And
we love you.
We do love you. And we just received a $30 tip from an anonymous tipper who says another $30 for discount Kylo Ren on the spreadsheet for his spreadsheet to tally up my income. Looking forward to the commentary every week.
Spreadsheet, slave.
Wow.
Tally up the king's wins. They don't even realize the spreadsheet is just a list of your wins. They pull it up as though it's something to be ashamed of. You should be proud of the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is Phil's legacy.
It's like
it's his contribution to this earth.
The spreadsheet is the money I earned and spent. How is that supposed to be something bad?
You ever see Game of Thrones, Phil?
Yes, I have seen most of Game of Thrones. Not all of it.
The head of the King's Guard has the book where all of their deeds are recorded. Your spreadsheet is like that book. It chronicles all of the many grand deeds and feats and victories of King Brunel.
Wow.
It really does.
There you go.
These plebeians don't even understand that they're trumpeting around their own losses.
Their entire
Like, we're gonna-
ecosystem is based on just talking about things that I've done and accomplished. It's like, and also things that I messed up, but I mean, they wouldn't exist without me. It's just, that's the truth of the matter.
It's true. You create all of their jobs. They say that you're a leech, you're a drain on society, you're this, you're that, but they wouldn't be able to pay their bills if it wasn't for you. All of these podcasts, all of these restreamers, they would be homeless if it wasn't for you, Phil. You're a job creator. You are the American dream. You are Henry Ford. You are the innovator. Much like how Henry Ford brought the assembly line, you brought the dark side, Phil, slopped the tractor assembly line into existence, sire. And you gave all these people jobs.
Yeah.
And yet they're so ungrateful. So often are these peasants, these wage slaves, these wages. They're ungrateful to the job creator who gave them that work, who gave them that opportunity. The person who took all of the risk, yourself, sir. Shame on them.
Yeah.
Shame on them, Sir Philip.
What else
Shame
can I
on
say?
them.
And all I do is I turn on my stream every day. I'm on my own business, but
I
hey,
know.
what can you do? We got a couple more super chats. We had Slayer with a $5 Singaporean super chat. I don't know what that exchange rate is,
What
but
the fuck is this Singaporean super chat?
so he's talking about
Gone from my sight with your
he's the one,
peasant currency.
he is the one who tipped earlier in USD, and he says, I like the promotion, I guess the WCPW promotion that he's been talking about. He says, I like this promotion. The show has good wrestling and storytelling. I'm not sure how much it would be to give it a try. It's a great show in my opinion. Yeah, but Slayer, didn't it end?
Sure, it is a good show. What is it, Lucha Underground?
WCPW? That's what he keeps saying. So
WCPW.
Yeah.
You know what? I pride myself on being a wrestling historian, but I ain't never heard of no WCPW. Windy City Pro Wrestling? Well, ain't nothing good come out of Chicago. That's a fucking dump for libtards, and I won't finish the thought, but you know what people I was thinking of.
wow.
Okay.
I think we got a pesos super chat. I'm not even kidding, and I don't even know how
Pesos?
you
Who the fuck are these people, man?
peso to USD. Let's see what this conversion is. It was 125 peso super chat. That's the equivalent of $6.17 from John Carlo Reyes, who says PPP versus Conrad Thompson versus the great Brian Last. Who would win? I don't know.
Well,
I don't even know who
the
they are.
fattest of them all? Who's the most obese land whale of them all? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fattest mark of them all? 'Tis you, PPP. 'Tis you, the fattest and palest and smelliest of all the marks. Thank you. I shall win the battle against Brian Last and fucking Conrad Thompson, the scam artist guy. Well, I'm gonna buy your home for pennies on the dollar and fuck you over. It's me, Conrad Thompson, bitch. Okay.
All right, we're now 190, so that was a pretty good jump right there. That was pretty good.
Well,
15
let's get
minutes.
to 2. There's no wrestling content until we get to $200. Where, like, these withholders, Phil, what the fuck is going on? The goal should be filled before we even get on the air. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. You guys should have to pay pre-purchase, like on pay-per-view, this show. And the bar should be filled all the way to the fucking brim. But yet you withhold. You withhold. We're on the air, tap dancing for you. Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtag crowd. Baby, my heart's gone wild. I'm tap dancing for nickels in the gutter. Please pay my bills and please pay my bills. And we still haven't hit the fucking goal. What do I have to do? I need a fucking vaudeville show tunes at the fucking Nickelodeon, for Christ's sake? Fucking cheap withholding bastards.
You gotta have like a slime machine.
Executed.
You pull the chain and that slime comes down and slimes us live on stream. You got to do dumb over the top shit, I guess. What else?
So he goes, can PPP even see his PPP? It's so massive and so gargantuan
Well, hold
that
on.
somehow I can still see it. But it only peeks out by a couple of inches from this gigantic fucking land whale belly. Oh! Morphin, let's get to $200. I'm fucking serious. Who the fuck is withholding right now? I want all withholders banned. If you haven't gifted a sub in Kick Chat yet, you're on serious thin ice. I'm looking at Daily Demo. He hasn't gifted a sub yet. He's withholding. Happy Accident? He hasn't gifted a sub.
Wow.
He's withholding. Stoned Out? He hasn't gifted a sub. He's withholding. Look at this. Philippe Baxter? He's withholding. All of these people are withholding. And this is not acceptable. I won't be played a fool like this.
Oh, what the hell?
I won't be treated like shit like this on this show.
I had a glitch here. I think we're okay now.
Now
I'm frozen.
I won't take
Now
this
I'm frozen.
abuse. I won't take this abuse from the likes of you people. You people, you smelly fucking virgins living in your parents' basement who think I should do this shit for free, who think I should do it for the love of the game, don't withhold. Pay. Pay now. Pay now. Oh my God, are we at $200 yet? Or
we are.
Is there not going to be a show tonight?
We did make it, but you were basically preaching so hard there that we had double technical difficulties. You froze, and then I froze, and then I unfroze us both, and now we're
going to keep passing the collection plate, and I'm going to keep fucking preaching until this goal is fulfilled.
Okay.
It's unacceptable.
So we did get quite a few there. Let's take a look. We got. Hold on, shit. Goddamn thing like I said, my whole goddamn thing froze here. Let's refresh. There was a bunch of subs.
I think it is working. He goes, this might have worked 2 years ago, bro, but you're down bad. No, I think it's working. I think we're getting the support. I think we're getting it nickel by nickel, dime by dime, quarter by quarter, dollar by dollar. Because these cheap fucks, none of them can afford like 10 subs, 20 subs, 30 subs. Here's 1 sub, sir. Here's your 2 subs, sir. Here's your $5, sir. I spit on you. I spit on you.
Okay.
How dare you? Come to me with a decent tribute for the king. He's here. He has valuable things to be doing with his time. He could be having a day off right now with his wife. He could be grocery shopping for 6 hours. He could be eating DoorDash. He could be drinking gin. He could be fucking playing WWE Champions. But here he is, spending his valuable time on you fucking freaks, you fucking mutants that turn this on and think that you can withhold, think that you cannot fucking pay, and I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. You will pay, and you will pay now. You will pay very much. They call me PPP for a reason. It's time to pay, pay, pay. Pay up. Pay up.
So we had Horse for 2 subs. We had Daily Demo for 1 sub. So that's 3. We had the Honorable Judge Cashman for 1 sub. So that's 4. We had Dr. Herbert West for 2 subs. So that's 6 right there. And then there was another super chat from Slayer who actually said WCPW is UK based. He says it's a promotion that What Culture Wrestling ran from 2016 to 2019. It had a 64-man pro wrestling group, I guess.
Ho, it's me here at What Culture Wrestling, and every wrestling YouTuber has a British accent, and we're all gay fairies at the Fairy Con, huffing each other's farts. Oh, tally-ho at the Jolly Roger Club. Let us all suck each other's dicks about indie wrestling. No, I don't think we shall be watching. We shan't be watching your indie slop, sir. How about we get a bigger contribution and another explanation as to why we should give a shit?
Is pro wrestling huge in the UK? Because I did notice that over the years that I stopped covering it, there is a big internet culture of British people talk about and cover pro wrestling. But they don't have any big federations over there, right? They have their own little things, but
Phil, how dare you insult the integrity of Rev Pro Wrestling?
Oh no, what have I done?
Don't you know that that's a really big deal over there?
Oh
Rev
no.
Pro Wrestling with fucking William sprays cum all over his face and fucking the other jabronis in the Fed.
Wow. Do they have spotted dicks as the turn
Yes.
ring posts?
They have spotted dick as the ring turnbuckles.
There you
folks.
go. Amazing.
Oh,
Anyway.
man.
Wow.
Okay. Like, guys, how are we going to fund my cocaine bill at this point?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do? We need support. This is crazy. I'm sweating over here. Like, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. Like, I don't know. Like, my grocery bill, it's so fucking big, guys. Do you know what groceries cost in Canada these days? Do you know what it costs to maintain this physique?
I wonder if it's
cheap.
It's probably worse than here. It probably legitimately is more expensive up there than it is in the U.S. I would bet it is.
No, of course it is. I can post the in-store prices for you, Phil. I'll go around. It's $90 for a steak, Phil.
Now, hold on, but I don't know what the Canadian exchange rate is. Hold on a second.
Well, that's part of
Figure
the
this out.
problem, Phil. That's
Fucking
part of the
exchange
problem,
rates. They
Phil.
suck.
We're down to like 67 cents, Phil.
Oh, that's
It's
not good.
cradling. I need to eat some of the Turkish treats if we tip enough. Phil is going to telepathically send the Turkish treats into my mouth hole, and I will enjoy their wondrous exotic delights.
So yeah, it's $1. Right. So every dollar here is $1.42. So when you're saying it's $90 for a steak, it's Are you serious? $63 for a fucking steak over there? Is that for real?
It really is. Like, it's crazy.
What the fuck? A big one, at least? Please tell me that's a good steak.
It's not even really that good. Well, I mean, you know.
Come on.
It's tough out here, man. It's
all right, hold on.
It's $16 for a jar of peanut butter right now.
$16 Canadian dollars for a jar of peanut butter.
16 Canadian dollars for the low-level peanut butter.
$11.28. That's insane. The one thing that's skyrocketed out here is a dozen eggs. Like, eggs used to be, no lie, they used to be like $3 a dozen, and now our eggs are almost $10 a dozen now because it's fucking bird flu bullshit.
What's interesting is that Canadian eggs are still like only $5 Canadian, which is like $3 US.
So just think about how crooked this shit is. So how the hell did you guys avoid the bird flu? But yet we got all the fucking bird flu eggs down here? Like, how the fuck did that happen?
Phil, I'm going to let you in on a secret. There was no bird flu.
Oh.
Joe Biden had those birds euthanized because he wanted to screw Donald Trump, and it was a libtard talking point about the price of eggs. It was the goddamn New World Order that's undermining President Trump. They're putting fluoride in the water to make Phil gay.
Wow.
Wake up. Wake up. We need support. By God, if you don't buy a Philomania shirt, they're trying to put us out of business. They're trying to silence Darkside Phil's truth. He's broadcasting Donald Trump and his truth every day. And these goddamn Democrats from Los Angeles and New York are trying to stop him. Please don't withhold your contributions. Please.
We got Slayer with another $5 super chat, and he says the UK is actually big on wrestling. They don't have a big federation like WWE or AEW or even TNA, but I did watch a match. Oh, I remember, Slayer, I remember when I watched that match that you had sent me from that WCPC. I remember the WCPW, right? And I knew about that, like, you know, WWE got their UK division, their NXT UK, and they were like getting their talent from those like indie divisions out there. I just don't know, and I never seen Rev Pro. I don't watch it. That's just probably on the internet somewhere, but I don't follow any of that shit, so I wouldn't know anything about it. We did get a generous $25 tip here.
Oh, that's more like it. Although we would appreciate a zero on there, let's be real. But that's better than the other peasants. That's better than the worthless slime that we're donating 2 and 5 and 1 and pesos and Singaporean seashells and whatever the fuck else.
Actually,
hard U.S. greenback.
To be honest,
U.S. dollar, $25.
I think Singaporean dollar might be more than the U.S. dollar. So actually, that I got to check on that. Singapore is actually a very rich country. They are.
Cuban is digging in his couch cushions. But the thing is, you're going to have to get to your bank. So you're going to have to be on the West Coast. I don't know if they're going to allow you to deposit your small change from the couch cushions into the bank before the end of this broadcast and then transfer it to us. I'm not sure. Do you have anything in your PayPal account by chance?
Before I forget, the $25 tipper said, I love the Smart Guy show, and I love it when PPP is loud. There you go. Apparently he loves
yeah,
it.
I'm sure they love it when I'm loud.
That's what he said.
They're like, this guy is loud. He's obnoxious. He's fat. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit. That's the whole point. This guy sounds like Gilbert Gottfried. I'm Malago, your majesty. We love you, king. Oh, my God.
Well, we have gotten halfway. We're at 255. So perhaps now we should actually start talking about wrestling.
Halfway there. We're begging on a prayer. Whoa, halfway there. Living on a prayer.
Here we go,
Cave
T.
for $10. Let's fucking go.
Look what he said.
More like it. What did he say? My fucking tab crashed.
He says the interdimensional demon alien elf detractors are the ones who attack Phil.
Right. The interdimension demon alien elf detractors are the one attacking Phil. What you don't understand is the detractors aren't even human beings. Their blood doesn't beat bread like ours. They have cold, cruel blue blood in their veins. They are nothing but alien interdimensional entities attacking the King of the Earth Federation, Darkseid Phil. And by God, we will defeat them. We will send the aliens back through the interdimensional portal and show them what for. By God, we have a Second Amendment for a reason. And we will rise up and defeat these demon detractors and send them back to hell where they belong. USA, 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 let's get some support.
What's hilarious about all this?
Sports entertained.
Alex from Phoenix, who's a regular, he just got in the chat. He goes, oh, hi, everyone. Can you imagine? He just turned it on. He's like, oh, hi, everyone. What the fuck?
Hey, what's going on? There's some fat guy yelling about aliens.
Wow. Holy shit. Woo. All right. I'm not even the one yelling, and I'm pumped up after all of this. I'm
Warface! We're going to get some Call of Duty stream going now. We're going to send Phil into the online battlefield to face the detractors firsthand in digital combat. Let's fucking go. We're going to get you in the ring with Kylo Dent, and he won't be able to see out of his one eye. You just attack the weak point for massive damage, Phil, like it's Punch Out.
Wow. All right. I mean, in all honesty, in all seriousness, I do think we should start talking about Monday Night Raw now so we can get through it. Or else people are going to be pretty upset.
Still withholding. I don't give a shit if they're upset. What matters is if we get paid. That's it. It's about getting paid and getting laid. Everything else, if you ain't first, if you don't hit the goal, you're last. That's what Darkseid Phil always taught me. All right, fine. Let's do wrestling. Oh, man.
What the?
Okay.
Look at this. This is hilarious. So my YouTube chat crashed, and YouTube has this new thing. It says, do you want to report the tab? Report YouTube? I'm going to report YouTube to YouTube?
What? King for $20. Let's go. He says, I'm eating maple oatmeal. Suffolk, Canada. Well, you might not be eating real maple syrup for long, buddy. What happens when the Canucks turn off the tap and you're left with just maple byproduct synthetic slop, a Merrimut? What then? What then, Yankee Doodle Dandy?
Wow.
You'll be fucked. And Captain Base Pants for 5 says, if I sent Phil a $20 PayPal tip and he announced it as $2 to withhold from you, how would you react, PPP? I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's what Phil is all about. Darkseid Phil is all about scamming, hustling, and withholding from others so that he can have it himself. But that's the way it is when you're the king. It's good to be king. You get to have it your way. You get to have your cake and eat it too. That's the way it is for Phil. I don't know why. God blessed him. It's the mandate of heaven.
That's damn straight. I've been doing this for 16 years. There's a reason why I'm still doing it after 16 years, you know?
Exactly.
I know what I'm doing.
He's a swindler. He's a scoundrel. But he is the thief with a heart of gold. He's Robin Hood. He really is. He steals from nobody. He's such a good guy.
No, of course not.
Oh, fuck. Okay. WWE Raw.
Okay, in all seriousness, guys, if we didn't just do that hour, I don't even know how we would have filled this show because Raw
Well, I
this week is
know.
just kind of like filler.
That was my
It's
plan.
just
I'm like,
like,
fuck. How do I stretch out the show?
yeah,
What do I do?
we never would have gone past like we never would have made it to 9 p.m. tonight because Raw, as we've been talking about the past couple of weeks, is just this like endless filler to get to the Elimination Chamber. And it's just like meaningless matches, these in between fucking interviews that are like just unbearable at this point. It's just like, oh my God. And I just can't wait for the chamber because once the chamber happens, then we can actually care about everything that happens between the chamber and WrestleMania.
Wait for the chamber.
But it's so I mean, to be honest, last night I watched Raw. The matches were much better than last week because last week was Botch Fest. We talked about that. But dude, I was kind of bored watching Raw last night. Seriously, I just wasn't having a very good time with it because it feels like they're just kind of
back and forth on the X and Y axis
well,
to entertain yourself.
There you go. You got to do something.
It's day one, it's me, Oos. It's day one, yeet, that's me, Oos. It's day one, yeet. Thank God the show didn't start that way.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm not even sure that they appeased like the Jey Uso fans because they didn't even really do that this week. Like
they didn't even do it.
No.
It was hallelujah, hallelujah, and amen. We were delivered from the tyranny of Usmius. It's day one. This is like worse than Nazi Germany, for fuck's sake. Like even Stalin in the fucking gulag would have mercy at a certain point to stop the. It's me, it's day one, it's me. This is like Guantanamo Bay level tactics that they subject me to week to week. Woohoo! It's the bloodline. Woohoo! Everybody related to The Rock is getting a big push. Everybody else is fucked. Oh
boy. All right. So last night, Monday Night Raw, February 17, 2025, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And it was weird at first because I definitely noticed something. They said that there was over 15,000 in attendance. They were like 15,280. Yes. And I was like, that's more than the last couple of weeks. They had said like last couple of weeks, like 13. Yes. But then when they cut to the arena shots, didn't it look smaller? Didn't it look like a lot smaller? I think maybe it's just the arena.
It was like packed in though. Like there were no empty seats. It was legitimately sold out from what I could tell.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to gauge just by looking at the buildings. And a lot of the time with WWE in the past, they have fudged their attendance numbers and like especially WrestleMania. Like you can always probably take off 5,000 or 10,000 people from what they announce at the WrestleMania events and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good crowd. Certainly a lot better than what AEW's doing in Guantanamo Bay. Holy. So they announced Charlotte, North Carolina, sold out 15,000, the home of Ric Flair. Woo! Let's go, Ric Flair. Seth Rollins was wearing what appeared to be a pie crust shirt. Did you see this?
I don't know what he's wearing. The pie
crust.
At this point,
like the top of a fucking cherry pie. I'm like,
it doesn't even look like he's trying to wear clothing anymore. Like he's just, whatever he can slap on his body and it sticks and doesn't fall off or whatever. Because I don't even think that could be considered a shirt or I don't know. It's fucking very bizarre. And his glasses too. It looked like someone squirted like ketchup all over his fucking sunglasses or whatever that shit was.
I know, like when he came out, he's like the Kool-Aid Man or something. Oh yeah, like I don't know what was going on, man. Then AJ Styles with the Daytona 500 winner.
Oh, this is bizarre.
Go ahead, Phil. Go off, King.
They just always do this. They have to get like a celebrity from something else that. Sorry, like I'm a pro wrestling fan. If you brought back an old pro wrestler, I would get it. Or if why are you bringing in a Daytona winner? I don't fucking watch Daytona. I don't know anything about it. They always try to do like these big attempt to get a new audience. Do you think a single person who watches Daytona said, "Oh, I heard he's going to be on Raw. Let me watch it tonight"? No, like I don't understand their crossover attempts.
There might be some sort of overlap between NASCAR and wrestling. You don't think there are any inbred cousin fuckers in the South who watch both NASCAR and wrestling, Phil?
Well, maybe there are, but again, I don't think this is going to get them to watch.
There might be some synergy there, is all I'm saying.
I just totally believe that AJ Styles in real life is like besties with this guy for sure. Like they're hanging out every weekend. He's in the back of the car
They're
when he's driving
crushing
on the track.
beers. Yeah.
I buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
Okay, they do a promo package for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. What did you think of the promo package, Phil?
It was interesting, but the thing that gets me about these now, I'm starting to notice the more that we've been watching. Why are half the promos not on the show, but then they put them on the show? Like, it's like, here's Sami Zayn talking from like the internet video he made last week, and then
Yeah.
they bring in the fucking KO video. Why can't you just have them do that on the
Well,
show? It's weird that they like mash it
I
together.
think what it is, Phil, is that you're old and out
Oh,
of touch, and
oh,
you don't understand the power of social media, and that they need to post these videos to their Twitter and YouTube accounts to engage with a larger audience.
so my problem is that when I want to watch wrestling and I tune into wrestling, I'm expecting the wrestling to happen there on the show instead of having happened previously in the week on the internet.
Why aren't you following every WWE social media account
Oh,
and dedicating at least 27 hours of your life per week to pro wrestling?
27. I
It's-
mean, if I was watching every show and I was following all the accounts, it would be like no exaggeration. Probably like 80% of every day would be pro wrestling with the amount of shit they have out there.
Maybe you'd have the time for it if these scumbags stopped withholding. By the way, guys, let's get paid. Let's get some subs. Let's get some support.
Is this true? Spawn Killer just did a $2 super chat. He says, you guys are talking about Flair country, but Ric Flair just had a heart attack. Did that just happen?
Well, he says that he's done with pro wrestling, which you would think he would have been done a long, long time ago.
Yeah, probably around his 7th or 8th retirement, I think he would have been done, but he just keeps coming back. So, I mean, hopefully he's okay. I didn't hear about anything about him actually legit having a heart attack. So
I'm
hopefully
sure
he's
he
all right.
did. I mean, it wouldn't be any news to anybody. It's like a DSP back or neck injury. It's like a near day occurrence. Your daily occurrence. Or my knees going out. I'm fat and I can't walk. Help! Pay my bills. I need support.
Well, anyway, so
Okay.
for that package, I guess the way they ended it is weird because they're jumping between a Sami Zayn video he recorded last week and a KO video he recorded. But then they're basically the gist of it is that KO wants to wrestle Sami in Canada at the Elimination Chamber, because they're both Canadian. He says, we have history. We should wrestle at the Chamber. And I guess this is going to lead into a plot line right now,
Okay.
actually.
So my whole thing is, why are we doing this? Like at
Again.
Elimination Chamber, because they've had this match how many times now?
Yeah, I
And
know.
they've had this match at WrestleMania before,
Yep.
like on the grandest stage. So for me, it's like, unless they're doing it for the title or the title at WrestleMania, I don't really know what we can do with these guys that's new, that takes it to the next level that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And I would understand if the pay-per-view is in Montreal, where they're from.
Not Toronto.
But Toronto is not really where they're from. It's not where the crowd is going to be hottest for these guys. And the angle to me is very basic.
Yeah.
It's not like they really put a lot of thought to create this complex storyline or feud between these guys. It's just, okay, well, Sami didn't interfere for Kevin. So now Kevin gave him a pile driver where, the last guy that took that fucking pile driver was out for months and months and months. But now Sami's back the next week.
Right.
What I don't understand with this is, why are they like zoom, 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 like so fast with this? How about we take our time, establish this angle, maybe milk Sami's injury a bit? Because like the whole segment, like Sami comes out and he cuts a pretty decent promo. It's a Sami Zayn promo. It's not The Rock. It's not Ric Flair. It's not even John Cena. You know what I mean? But it's adequate. It suffices as a babyface promo. And then Adam Pearce comes out and tells him no. Well, that should have probably been the end of the segment. And then next week, Sami says to him, I need to fight him. I need to fight him. And he gets increasingly more and more desperate. I got to fight Kevin at WrestleMania. You can't withhold this from me like these people withholding support from us. You have to let it happen. I'm begging you. Give us the match. Give me the match. Give me the match. Instead, Adam Pearce immediately caves to Sami's demands even though he's not medically cleared, even though the attack happened like what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? And then it's like, okay, the unsanctioned match stipulation. How can it be unsanctioned if he's sanctioning it?
Right.
How can it be
It's-
unsanctioned if he's going to allow it to happen?
They've obviously this unsanctioned thing. Whenever they do it, and they don't do it all the time either. It's like every 5 years they'll do one of these, right? And every single time they bring it up, it never makes any sense. How could it be unsanctioned if it's happening at your event, in your ring? You're providing the venue, you're providing the time. I mean, okay, so there's no technical referee that will end the match, but still, it's a match that's at your event. It doesn't make sense.
But isn't there a referee?
I think technically yes, but the ref can't stop anything. Like you can't. There's no DQ.
Yeah, my question is, what makes this match different than a street fight or a no holds barred match? Exactly.
Nothing.
What?
Absolutely nothing.
You know what I mean? Like, why not make it an I quit match or something, or like, where like the loser has to fuck off? Like, give us some stakes or something.
The other thing that is so dumb about these unsanctioned matches is they always promote them like someone could like die during the match because no one's there to stop it. It's like, no one can die because even if it was unsanctioned and you kill someone, you're still gonna get arrested and go to fucking jail. Like, what are you talking about? They act like in the world of WWE, the law doesn't apply. It's like, yes, it still does if you were to accidentally murder him.
I always thought, I'm like, why don't they just bring a gun? You know what I mean? Because apparently you can do anything. Like, they get away with the most brutal assaults, like unsanctioned shit in the back. Why doesn't somebody bring a knife or a gun or something?
Lemon.
Or like Chlora.
Lemon just gifted 2 subs.
Let's go. We're going to need the rest of you to stop withholding. We are going to need more support for this to continue. I don't know.
Let's go.
I don't know. We're already at 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And where are we at on the goal?
We are over $302 right now. 302 out of the 500
Oh,
goal.
my God. What a disgrace. You people ought to be fucking ashamed.
Hold on. We got to use... I was impressed by you guys. Like a week or two ago, use this tactic. I don't know if this tactic can work. All right.
I taught you a new tactic, Phil. A new bag.
Listen, we're not asking for much. Let's just get everyone... Just give whatever you can get. 1 sub or one membership. Everyone, just one. Just get you for one. Everyone.
Sub right now. If everybody could just chip in 1 sub.
Just
$1 or even $1. We would hit the goal right now.
That's right.
Can everybody listen? Let's channel it right now. I want you to pull out your credit cards from your wallets. Yeah. I want you to feel my energy coming through the TV screen, coming through your laptop or your mobile phone device. I want you to lay your hands upon the device, and I want you to feel the energy of Philomania. I want you to feel the energy of Smark, guys. I want you to feel it. Hallelujah. Drive it through your body and be healed. Now pay. Pull out your credit cards. Whatever illness you might have, if you pay now, God will heal you. And if not, you didn't have enough faith. But for those of you who have enough faith to pull out your credit cards and make a simple financial contribution to this show, the Lord God will prosper you tenfold. It's the prosperity gospel. Hallelujah. Don't you know the Lord doesn't want you to live in poverty? He wants you to be rich, not just in spirit or in a heavenly kingdom to come, but on this earth. He wants you to be wealthy. He wants you to have it all. But you have to give to receive. You have to give to Darkside Phil. He needs your money more than you do. But God will return it tenfold. Hallelujah. Let us all give. Let's not withhold right now. Feel the gospel of the bag. Feel the gospel of prosperity. Yeah. It's the holy rollers. It's the hallelujah and amen. And amen, Brother Phil. Let's make it happen.
I'm being asked
to actually... there was no support.
No. We didn't even get a single sub.
And there was
not even
no
a single
support. Sub. That was because that was blasphemy, chat. That was wrong. We can't invoke Jesus to grift, apparently. Even though on every Sunday, It happens.
That is
Even though every Sunday
that
they
is
get
very
away
true.
with it.
That is
But
very
not
true.
in this pulpit. Apparently not. The mind control didn't work. So we're back to the drawing board on Phil as a cult leader. Your cult leader status is revoked, sir.
Damn it.
You just didn't have what it takes.
I didn't use the pignosis properly tonight. That's the problem. Yep.
All this energy and yet not one sub.
All right, hold on.
Not
Hold
one
on.
donation.
Let me try, because I have the power, correct? I'm supposed
Don't
to have the
worry,
one.
EJ. Grill Phil's coming back. Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
All right.
Give us this day our daily bag, sire.
Everyone, please. I'm reaching out to you now. I'm using the powers of almighty Pignosis right now. All right? I'm destitute. If you don't send one sub or one membership or one super chat or one tip right now, how am I going to try the Shamrock Shake in the next couple of days? I need to have the Shamrock Shake. Don't you understand? This delicious mint flavor. And you've been waiting. I haven't even ever had the Shamrock Shake on DSP Tries It ever before. It's unprecedented. You want it. You know you want to see it. It's something new. Did you know that the McDonald's episode of DSP Tries It that I did a few months ago is the most viewed episode of DSP Tries It I have done since I brought the series back? So obviously you want it. The evidence is there. The evidence is clear. Please just send one sub, one membership, one super chat, one tip, or if you want to spread it around and do one of each, that also is also very acceptable here tonight if you'd like to do that on Smark, guys. Right? So let's get it going right now. Let's get one of each.
You. And I love this show. I love this show, Phil. They thought we were going to cancel it. But the beggar powers unite.
Well,
it's just like...
And John Diaper. John Diaper just did a sub.
My God, it's John Diaper for one sub. It's the start of the sub train. Let's get it going. Sub train, sub train, sub train, sub train. Choo, 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 choo. Sub train, sub train, sub train, sub train. Choo, choo. Let's go. Let's go. Where are the subs? Stop withholding, you slime. Damn it. Damn you all to hell.
I think they ran out of coal.
We tried the holy roller grift. We tried the pignosis grift. What are we going to have to do? Maybe we're going to have to bring back Grill Phil.
All right, hold on. I got a $2 tip. This is my anonymous tithe for the Shamrock Shake, so that's $2 right there. We just got, let's see, we got one membership on YouTube. Tony Pamfer, a single membership.
Tony, I know you have deep wallets, Tony.
A single.
Tony, what are you doing to me, Tony? Tony, you fucking cockroach, Tony. You fuck me, Tony. Where are the contributions, Tony? You're fucking withholding from me, Tony. You fucking slime. You fucking dirtball. Where's my money, Tony?
Falcuel with a $5 super chat. He says, I cannot resist. Sis.
What's going on? My wallet's opening itself. The Velcro's coming undone. My MasterCard. It's being entered into Kik.com. Ah!
We got a membership from ComGibo. So ComGibo with a membership that counts. It's a new one. So we're up to 320 tonight now. So there you go. We're heading in the right direction, everyone. That's good stuff. Maybe we will see the Shamrock Shake. We may see it.
East side to that Shamrock Shake in the sky. The deluxe meal. Large French fry. Dark Side Phil's gonna try it by and by.
And it better not fucking suck, because people told me to do this, and I don't think it's gonna be very good, but I guess we'll see. Does it fucking suck? Because I haven't had it in so long, man.
I'm fat as fuck, and I don't even like it.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Well.
Over it, Phil.
Things I do to my body for this shit.
Oh, I know. You're soldiering through broken freaking neck like Kurt Angle. 9 displaced vertebrae in your fucking spine, tailbone shattered, fucking on crutches in a fucking wheelchair, and still they withhold, Phil. Still they withhold. Okay,
here you go. $2 from Kaza. 2 for the #1 pathological liar. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's the real liar on this show? I don't even know anymore.
We're supposed to have, I guess,
have stacked up so much.
The ultimate competition.
It's impossible for truth to prevail on this program.
The lie guys. We could rebrand it and call it Lie Guys.
Lie Guys. There we go. There's the good. Steve's going to be seething. Steve's seeing this money come in. Steve's rattled. You know Steve's this fat piece of shit. Fuck him. Okay. Okay, we had a recap shown of the Jade Cargill storyline.
Oh,
So
yeah. This is so
this
confusing because I didn't see it, and the recap was shit. It was so bad. Still don't know what fucking happened. I
well,
guess Jade got attacked, but it didn't really explain the premise of it,
hold
so I don't
on.
even get it.
Tony Panther for 5 That's what I'm talking about, Tony. Don't you fuck us, Tony. You bring the subs, you get the content, huh? That's how it goes, Tony. Don't you be a dirty cockroach. Let's go. Let's go.
Very nice. Thank you, Tony.
We're building the empire brick by brick, dollar by dollar, bag by bag.
Damn
The
straight.
grift will be built. Okay.
$5 tip just came in. Someone's talking about LOLCOW Live and RTU getting fired live on the show. Apparently just happened, so amazing.
Suffer Rich, you're fired. The king just can't stop winning. Wow. Huge.
It's a pretty
Huge.
impressive that RTU
Big
gets
league.
fired and we got paid for it. That's interesting.
Yes.
We received monetary compensation for him losing
Bag
his
is
job.
yours, everything in it. Come on, let's get it.
Very nice. So,
Hands in the air.
what is this plot line with Jade Cargill? Like, what happened? Because they didn't
Okay,
explain
so
it on the show.
basically, they forgot about this storyline. So this happened, I think, back in December.
Okay.
And it just was never followed up on. They never even mentioned it on TV after it happened. It was basically like a rerun of when Austin got hit by the car from back in the
Oh,
day.
God. And who was it? Was it Rikishi? Right, no one thought it was
Yes,
fucking Rikishi.
It was me, Austin. Okay. And so they just didn't follow up on this. A lot of people thought they just dropped it or forgot about it because, you know, a lot of WWE storylines in the past, shit would happen and then it would never be followed up on. Or like back in TNA when Samoa Joe was kidnapped by ninjas. Ninjas! He was kidnapped by ninjas. It's a big Spoonie One reference back in the day. And it was never followed up on. But apparently they decided to finally follow up on this. I don't know if this was the original plan or what.
Yeah.
To have it be Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. But I guess it's them that were behind this dastardly attack.
And did the video prove that? It just showed them walking into the arena while the ambulance was there. Like, where was the evidence? It didn't even show them attacking her. So what the fuck is... I don't get it at all. It just seems like one of the most worst
don't
callbacks
know.
ever in history. It's really shitty.
It's really shitty. And then Bianca Belair and Naomi said that they would go to Raw to handle this or whatever. Then the Judgment Day was in their clubhouse. Dominic was asking Liv, I need to have more members in the Judgment Day so that we can have more help because this is a big burden or whatever. But then Finn Balor's refused it. It's just kind of like these Judgment Day segments in the back, they're not really doing anything.
No, not at all. They're not setting anything up.
The storytelling is really slow. I guess what they're setting up is like eventually they're going to break up or become a different faction or something.
Right. Either they're going to kick out Finn and they're going to take over and they're going to bring in a whole bunch of new people, which is what Finn keeps telling them not to do, or Finn's going to kick them out and he's going to start a new group. Like, something's going to happen. There's no way they're staying together.
Something like that. I think it'll probably be the former where Dominic kicks Finn out. Then I don't know what they're going to have Finn do, but I guess they don't care and nobody cares because Finn Balor is just a jobber to the stars, jabroni bum these days. Then there was a video of I Show Speed. He was talking about...
Oh, my God.
Still seething. It should have been me.
It's just so bad because you're like, here's this video of I Show Speed. And literally it's like 5 seconds. And it's like... you would think that it would have been like a big to-do, but it's just like a 5-second, it's almost like an out-of-context clip, too. Like, it doesn't even seem like he's that excited or anything about it. It's like, whatever. I don't know. But I guess if it works, it works. It got them to 300 million views, so good for them. But, for the record, I would have kicked Braun Breaker in the balls. So
yeah, you would have owned it. You would have beat his ass, Phil. You would have one punch to the throat, and it would have ended Braun
that's right.
Breaker's
Just crush the trachea.
Right then and there,
strike.
you have like fucking Krav Maga superpowers, like out of Cobra Kai. Sensei Burnell. There is no mercy in this bag, Joe. There is no mercy. Okay, then we had AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. AJ Styles is only an 85 in WWE
I
2K.
I also wrote that down, and the hilarious part about that is that Dom is an 84, so they think that Dominic is only like 1 point below AJ Styles. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck, dude?
it's like, what sort of power levels are this? AJ Styles has been the world champion multiple times. Like, he's beat John Cena and stuff. He's like won at WrestleMania in big matches. Dominic is like really now. I don't think he's even won a title. I think maybe like a tag title.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know. That's fucking crazy to me, these WWE 2K rankings. By the way, Captain Based Pants for 5 says, in honor of RTU being future endeavored, may he join the Smark Guys Kiss My Ass Club for future employment. Listen, if fucking Review Tech flies out to Renton and kisses Phil's ass, I'll give him $1,000 cash. But I think we'd have to give Phil $10,000 to let that fucking stinky bum anywhere near his asshole.
That's right.
Little Green Man for 2 says, I made a withdrawal from my 401k to send this. Well, you're obviously not saving for retirement properly then, or your contribution would be bigger.
That's right.
Maybe you should figure it the fuck out and get a new credit card and then send in the full amount. If you were to send $2,000 or $3,000 in right now, Phil could order the Shamrock Shake today. But oh no, you have to withhold. You have to withhold. The withholders are getting a B to the H this day. We are lining up the withholders before a mass grave.
Oh, no, no.
And they're not gonna,
No.
they're not gonna like what happens.
No, we're not doing that.
Withholders, you are on serious thin ice. You are on watch.
We also had Boba Bickle with a $1 super chat, and we had NVL Roy with a $2 super chat. I want to be sure to get those in on.
Remember, if you don't send in your super chat now, the interest is going to start applying.
Oh.
So right now, like, the interest is stacking up, and it's 20% per minute that I expect added to your contributions if you do not contribute now. So understand that it's better to contribute now rather than contribute later with interest and penalties and fees. You may as well just pay up. There's no way out of it. Okay, this match. What did we think about this match, Phil? AJ Styles versus Dominic.
Well, it's the first match I ever saw Dom in that like was a real match. You know, I saw him in the Rumble and everything, and we saw him in the tag match, but it was really the first singles match. I mean, can we be very honest? We know he's not going to hang with AJ Styles. Yeah. Okay, he's not. I noticed he's very tall and skinny. And I get it, he's like luchador style, but it's like, do I really believe that he could go toe to toe and like have a test of strength with AJ or anything? Of course not. It's all, you know, this is sadly when you kind of you really have to suspend your disbelief a bit here. He's a giant heel, so you have to believe.
It gets worse later on in the night. I was able to suspend my disbelief for this way more than that women's match that happened later on where it was like, really? But this one, Dominic kind of has a hard ceiling unless he's going to put on a bit more size to where it's not really believable that he's going to win. Now, he can kind of be a chicken shit heel and win by cheating and stuff like that, which is how they set him up.
Right.
But you knew right well AJ was going to win this match. The match was actually, I thought, pretty short.
It was,
you know?
yeah.
I think they went a little under 10 minutes, and I was expecting at least 15 minutes.
With Dom, and this maybe you can answer this for me, do they purposely have him do certain moves like intentionally badly to make fun of his dad? Like, for example, he does a 619, but it's like really shitty. And I'm like, I think he's doing that to make fun of his dad. That's his heel character, right?
I think so. I think he could execute it a lot better. But I think that's the idea, is that it's making fun of his dad.
Right.
It seems to be really working for him. He always gets big reactions, big boos from the crowd. But this was a pretty plain Jane match, pretty simple like match for AJ to go over. You know, I mean, it wasn't really anything amazing.
Right.
Then after the match, Braun Breaker come and he threw his shirt at AJ Styles. And AJ caught it out of the air like a ninja. There was like some real aura there to AJ catching that shirt. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's badass. He caught that shirt and shit. And then Braun Breaker fucking smoked Dominic with a spear because AJ moved out of the way. And it basically set up AJ Styles versus Braun Breaker. Now, we thought that might be at WrestleMania. Seems like they're moving pretty quickly in that direction. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
going to be extended out to WrestleMania or this might be something for
This
the
is
Chamber.
this is the weird thing. They're moving all of the plot lines forward way quicker than you would think they would be doing. So the Sami Zayn plot line, instead of it building slowly, all of a sudden it's boom, the match is unsanctioned, it's happening. The freaking Jey Uso and Gunther. They could have stretched that out for weeks where Jay's going to pick, who's he going to pick, who's he going to pick. No, immediately the second week he picks Gunther. So now all that's gone, all that hype. And here
Yeah.
again, you're right. This could have been built up over several weeks, but instead, oh, we're moving really fast towards this IC title match. Like, I don't know why they're in such a rush. Maybe sometimes before WrestleMania, they squeeze in mini events. I don't know if they're doing that this time, where they're going to do like and then they're going to do like another mini
Yeah.
pay-per-view somewhere. Maybe that's what it is they're trying to.
Like a roadblock like they used
Right.
to do or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels to me like they had a plan and then something changed. It feels to me like they either thought that they were going to have The Rock or they thought that John Cena was maybe going to be more available than he was. Because like nothing really, like what the fuck is Cody Rhodes doing at WrestleMania?
Right.
I
Right.
guess we're going to find out at the Chamber by who wins the Chamber, but it's just like, I don't know. We're not watching SmackDown, which, you know, if we watch SmackDown, maybe we'd have a better understanding of where everything's going.
Yeah.
But to me, it just feels like there's nothing really big, nothing really exciting. Last year, when you had The Rock coming back and whipping Cody with the weight belt and the rain and insulting his mother and all that, it felt really big time. It felt like WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble decision where they had that big press conference in Las Vegas where it was going to be The Rock and Roman, and then Cody said, no, I'm going to challenge Roman. Like, that stuff was all great. And it felt larger than life, and it was like the build to see Cody and Roman. That was a huge match.
Right.
Where is the hype for a match of that level in the main event right now? Like,
Yeah.
I don't see it. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania. People are saying CM Punk in the chat, like Stormforce saying CM Punk. Are they really going to do that? I don't think so.
Well, here's an interesting question. Did you notice this week there was no CM Punk? There was no mention whatsoever of Roman Reigns. Like all the big names that you would think this is what would be involved in the programs leading up to the Chamber and WrestleMania. They're not even on the show at this point. So it just feels ultimately like filler content, and it's just not really going to matter in a couple of weeks anyway. And it's kind of disappointing in that regard. I feel like you would have CM Punk on every week right now, hyping up stuff. You would have Roman Reigns in the mix. No, he has time off now or something. Like, I don't get that. You know, you do that shit in the middle of the fall or something when there's nothing going on. You don't do it in WrestleMania season. I thought for sure after the Rumble, this was going to be like, rocket up your ass. Let's get everyone going. Let's get everyone hyped. And it just seems like they're meandering around. It's not as exciting nearly as I thought it would be at this time of the year for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. And then we have the Creed brothers, American Made, backstage. I guess Julius Creed is part of Daniel Cormier's team on The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Which, if this was 20 years ago, that would be a big deal.
Exactly.
But
I saw the
nobody
first
watched-
season of that like 20 years ago. Like, who's just watching this shit now? It was
But
bizarre.
nobody, not even UFC fans, watch Ultimate Fighter anymore. Like,
Wow.
the Tuesday Night Contender series has way usurped in importance. The Ultimate Fighter, you know, so it's not really a big deal at all. To me, it's even less of a big deal than them getting fucking the NASCAR driver on. The Creed brothers were backstage with Ivy Neal. They were bragging about how they beat up the Roar Raiders. Then Ivy kind of gave them this pep talk, said we have to win the belt for Master Gable or whatever the fuck, which is kind of strange. They call him Master Gable. I don't know what that's about there, but okay. Then Dakota Kai walked up behind Niall, and Niall and Kai kind of exchanged words back and forth. This was a little bit better than her promo backstage. It was a little less stiff than it was a few weeks ago, but she's still clearly a big-time work in progress. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah, again, we've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. It almost kills the momentum of the show when they keep doing these extended backstage segments. Like, if they were just going to do the segment with the Creeds and Niall, okay. But then they got to have another segment where she runs into Dakota. It's like, fucking don't care. Just go wrestle and shut up. Stop dabbing. It doesn't even advance the plot line, and it makes
No.
the show come down to a crawl. And this is why it's 2.5 hours every week. You cut this shit out and make the show hour 45 minutes. It would be like super streamlined and a much better
Yes.
product. I hate this shit. Bothers me.
It's just bad, and it's like there's no commercials, but there's this, which may as I don't know. To me, it's just not adding anything. They're not saying anything important. Like I'm not even barely writing down the words that they're saying anymore.
Yeah, right.
I just write down what the gist is of what they said because it doesn't matter what they said at all. So it's just a waste of airtime. Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile. I just wrote right away, they have way too many women on this roster. Like, there's just so many of them, and they're so interchangeable and so generic at this point. Like, what exactly is Dakota Kai's gimmick? Exactly.
Originally, I remember it was supposed to be Speed because she was on Team Kick, and the gimmick was that they were like Chun-Li from Street Fighter. Like, that was her original gimmick from back in the day. But since then, she hasn't had a gimmick in so many years. I don't know what the fuck she's supposed to be in there, you know? They're still mentioning Team Kick in the match. They're still saying that. It's like, dude, that was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Why you guys still bring that up? Where's her latest plot line?
I wrote out, the fans are very checked out and quiet for this match. They just don't seem into it at all for either of the girls. They weren't reacting very well.
Yeah.
I will say the match was more competently done than Bailey and fucking what's her name watching blue hair bitch from last week.
Valkyria.
Valkyria or whatever. I think she was ringside for this match.
Yes.
You know, the match was okay. It was short. It was mercifully short. Kai won with the GTK kick. It wasn't a failure of a match, but I would have liked to see Ivy Nile win, to be honest.
Right. Because we just had Dakota versus Valkyria, and it's like, do we care to see this rematch immediately? We just saw the match like 2 weeks ago. Do we really want to see it run back that quickly? No.
Are they going to hot potato it back and forth, the belt between these two? Is that what they're going to do? I don't know. Or are they just going to have Valkyria win again, kind of like what they're doing with Pentagon, where, you know, they're spinning their tires, retreading the same stuff we've seen before.
Right.
I was disappointed. It seems to me like this Chad Gable faction, it has a lot of potential, but they just aren't willing to look at them as anything more than comedy jobbers, which I think is a shame. But we'll see what happens with them. But we've been saying that for years and years now. So.
Yeah. We had 2 super chats from Dat Pie over there. First is $5, and he says, Daddy Dom is a master at character reinvention and heel work. From ex-con-Dom to him turning heel twice, first on his dad and then on Rhea at SummerSlam. Fair enough. Then he did second super chat for $5. He says, I can understand if you guys aren't watching NXT. That's like a quasi-pocket dimension to begin with, but not watching SmackDown is a job half done each week. And to be fair, we literally had this conversation right before the show tonight that SmackDown, we do actually feel like we're missing half the stuff because it seems disconnected. You know, it definitely does.
But now, so we're going to have to get into 5 hours of wrestling. But if we're doing 5 hours of wrestling, we're going to need to hit that $500 every time.
I have to agree because it's so much to watch. It is a ton of content to watch.
We're going to have to double it to $1,000 because, you know, like our time is worth $100 an hour minimum, I think. You know, who else could give you this level of entertainment? I don't think there's any duo on earth that could bag this often. So,
and by the way, shout out to Guitar Player 1939, longtime supporter of this channel, 24 months. He's a smart guy. Hype. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Okay.
The Vince tax. Well, if we get a 20 sub bomb, John Diaper, 20 sub bomb will read the Vince tax right now. Try and Google and pull them up. But I don't know if that's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll read.
Okay.
So, here, I'll go. You want to look for him, and I'll continue with the recap here. I have it right here. So.
Okay. I think we have it. All right. Let me continue with the recap here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, Gunther. Let's hear from Gunther. Yeah, where the fuck is Iron Chef Kakai? Where is this? Did he snake us, Phil?
No, he was here the other day. He did come back.
Is he a Steve bro now?
Honestly,
he's going over to Slippery Steve?
I actually don't think he likes wrestling. I don't think he really cares. So that's why I don't think we've ever seen him during Smart Guys, but he comes, you know, from time to time he's on the streams during the week. So he's not here tonight.
Clearly a man of bad taste, clearly low IQ, cockled brained. doesn't like the WWE talk. Really, Kakai? Really, buddy? Maybe it's because I keep calling him Iron Chef Kakai.
That could be the
Maybe-
reason why he doesn't want to come by.
Maybe that's why he doesn't want to donate to this show. I don't know. I don't know. Now that I think about it, actually, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Okay, so Gunther made his entrance as the World Heavyweight Champion.
Through the
And he-
crowd. Through the
Through
crowd like Jay.
and he's doing the yeet thing.
Yes.
The crowd was rattled. He told some guy in the crowd that he stinks, which I took inspiration from today. That guy flipped him off, you know? That guy was seething that Gunther told him he stunk. So Gunther said it was a simple gesture for simple people, as he does that. This is like classic, foreign heel work. He said that he told the fans he's tired of stepping into the ring with people who can't lace his boots. He said, "Me performing for you is like reading Shakespeare to a dog," which I thought was a great line. Now, I was unfortunately told by indie jabroni Mark fans after that Zack Sabre Jr. said this first, but I refused to believe that because I thought Zack Sabre Jr. was incapable of speech. But it's a good line. It's like reading Shakespeare to a dog. Sometimes I feel like Darkside Phil's performance, the detractors, it's similar. It's like Phil is reading Shakespeare to a dog. Like he's doing Beethoven's Fifth Symphony out here, and these fucking losers just can't understand it. They're so low intellect. It's sad. Pathetic. He says that Jay has a false sense of confidence that's forced Jay into digging his own grave. He said that the WrestleMania match won't happen in the stands. It's going to happen in the ring, which I thought was a good line. Because it really is all that Jay has. It's me, Oos. It's day one, yeet. It's day one, yeet, or whatever. He says he'll outclass Jay in every aspect of this sport. Gunther said that Jay's blood will be on their hands. Gunther went over to the commentary team and fucked around with Pat, which I thought that was good. You know what? I'm starting to enjoy this program simply because of what Gunther is doing. Gunther is basically having to backpack this entire program and carry it on his back. His back is aching, much like mine, having to carry all this weight. You know what I mean? So he's struggling. He's struggling to carry this, but he's starting to get me a bit invested in this. I want to believe that Gunther could win at WrestleMania, and it would be disappointing for all the kids, and he'd have huge heel heat. I don't think that's the case, but eventually what happens, Jey Uso runs down to the ring. There's a pull-apart brawl with Gunther. Gunther gets a sleeper hold in during the pull-apart, but Jey broke free. Jey and Gunther then exchanged punches. They broke it up. I liked the segment. I thought it was for the first time. I kind of felt like this storyline might be going somewhere or might be kind of interesting. What did you think, Phil?
I think the segment worked. I think because, well, here's the thing. Number one, they gave Gunther all the time. Instead of it being Jay in the ring for 42 minutes dancing around like an idiot, they actually gave the guy who's good on the mic the time to build the heel heat. But as good as I liked the segment, I realized something. I was like, wait a minute. I looked at the date. I said, it's fucking February 17th. Dude, WrestleMania is not for almost 2 months. And, what are they going to do for the next 2 months? Because they did this too early. Like, I really feel like Jay pulled the trigger on picking Gunther so fucking early that now they're going to have to milk this for like week after week. And this week was good, but I'm afraid we're going to have 2 more weeks of it's me, Oos, it's me. And then you know what I mean? Do we have to have 3 weeks to wait for a new development in this plot?
Maybe
It's
it would
going to
have
suck.
been best for them to have after the Chamber, the decision be made.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I agree.
The Royal Rumble winner gets the decision, and then the Elimination Chamber winner is left with the other.
Right.
Maybe that would be the option. I don't know, because it's just like we're looking at 2 more months, 2 full months. April 20th, WrestleMania.
Oh my God, it's later than I thought it was. Wow.
Yeah, it's not the first week of April like a lot of the time it is, or last week of March. We're looking at the 3rd week of April. So they have a lot of roads still to cover. Now, maybe they're going to leave these guys off TV a lot of weeks and try and build the other stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do. Like, Gunther is just kind of spinning his wheels now for 2 months. I don't think he's going to have any other title defenses or any other programs
Right.
for the belt. And Jay is not really going to be wrestling anybody, is he? So it's kind of like, I don't know what they're going to do, but maybe they're like, the thing is, it's like, okay, like they did this big segment. It's like, okay, they have to escalate it now above this, and they have to top it. We'll see if they're able to do that.
Yeah.
Then we had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez backstage. Raquel said she was going to squash Roxanne Perez. Basically a nothing segment. Then we got Pete Dunne versus Penta. As I said earlier, it's like they're really kind of spinning the wheels on Penta. How about we have him face a new opponent?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. They keep the same match over and over. I liked how each week they were feeding him someone that was the perfect match. The Pete Dunne and then the Kaiser. Okay, these are good. But now, why are we already rehashing the same territory this fast? That makes me worried that this is going to be another situation like a Sin Cara or something where they're going to botch this. They had really good momentum going into the Rumble. He was looking great. He was good in the Rumble. But I don't want them to screw this up again for the millionth time. They actually do need another legitimate luchador in the company that's getting, a good push. And I don't know. It makes me worry.
I really love his presentation. I love the pyro and the entrance. It's great. And these are good matches he's having. But this match felt very similar to the other match he had with Pete Dunne.
Yeah, almost the same.
It was almost the same, where they were like replaying the same spots again, the same moves again. And I liked that match, and I liked this match. But, it was a short match. It only went about 9 minutes. And it wasn't better than the last match they had. I can't say it got better.
Right.
The only thing I can really think of is, they're putting him in there with really good technical workers that until he can get the botching out of his system. Because the botching has been a problem. So maybe they were going to, put the rocket to him and push him up higher on the card. And then they saw that he still wasn't used to the WWE style yet.
Right.
Still botching. And so now they're kind of putting him in a holding pattern until he gets that out of his system, which might be smart. You know what I mean? Because he has been having a lot of issues with botching. Then they kind of set up like the Kaiser stuff again. Penta hit a somersault dive over the top onto Kaiser and Dunne on the floor. The heels can't get any heat on Penta. Like, Penta's just dominating them, which
Right.
I like the booking. I like the booking for him, but you can't take these guys as credible when they've both lost to Penta. Now Pete multiple times. They can't even beat him 2-on-1, for fuck's sake. So what are we doing here? Then Jey Uso had a promo with Kathy Kelly in the backstage area. He said they keep doubting him. And at WrestleMania, he's going to shock the world and beat Gunther and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. He actually did say something here, which makes it an improvement over most of his promos where he doesn't say anything at all.
Right.
But it was very simple.
Yeah.
And very short. Now, you can say he had emotion during it, but my whole thing is he does these crying eyes every fucking week. And it's like, not every week can it be the most emotional moment of your life. I don't really like the crying, weepy fucking eyes. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed by the moment. So I don't know. He's showing emotion, but to me, if the emotion is the same emotion every week, it's kind of one note. But I guess it's better than other promos. What was horrible, they showed Bailey. Of all the wrestlers to send to the NBA All-Star Game, to be in the Celebrity All-Star Game, why did they send a 5'3" female wrestler?
Right.
That's not very athletic. So their highlight is her missing a shot. She missed the basket, and her teammate rebounded it and scored. It's not like she made a good pass to the teammate.
Right.
Or rebounded it and then passed. She just straight up bricked the shot, and then her teammate scored.
You're telling me
Yeah, go ahead.
with their entire roster, like you said, they now have a tremendous amount of women on their roster. You're telling me there was not a single woman who could play basketball who could have been at this game? Not a single woman. Not even any of the taller ones, or like none of them have ever played basketball. I don't get it. What were
Where's
they thinking there?
almost at? Where's almost at? The Maverick is like 7'5". They had him over in Japan, and apparently he was doing well over in Japan. And then they called him back for him to sit in fucking catering.
Wow.
What the fuck are they thinking? The guy's a monster. But whatever. Bailey missed the shot, so obviously she didn't do anything of value at the NBA All-Star game.
Right.
I don't even know why you would show it. I would be embarrassed to show that shit. But they tried to sell it. Michael Cole could sell fucking ice to an Eskimo, I guess. That's what they think. In reality, he stinks. Okay. Then they had a video package about former NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. I thought the video package did a pretty good job of establishing her and listing out her accomplishments. Although, I mean, just looking at her look and the way she's talking in the package, it doesn't seem like she's anything that special. And then, brutal, and this might be what she's remembered for when all is said and done in her career, Lillian Garcia botches the entrance and calls her Roseanne Perez instead of Roxanne Perez. And then Michael Cole had to cover for Lillian Garcia and say the right name. So, total disaster. Then I noticed that the stream, did you see this? It glitched for a second and showed Hulk Hogan promoting his beer.
Oh no, I didn't notice that.
Programming. I noticed that it glitched for a second and showed Hogan.
Huh.
Then after that entrance, this weird the way they're doing this, where they do promo packages and backstage interviews between entrances now.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of that. I don't know. It's just different, and I don't like things that are different because I'm an autistic wrestling fan. So anyway, the War Raiders did a promo. They said that the Creed brothers were not built for war. Eric said they missed their shot at being the champions. The Creeds made the mistake of their lives. Ivar said it isn't over. And the next time they have a match, it's war. Now, it's kind of self-defeating to say that they missed their chance, but then also that there's going to be
They're going to give them another match. Right. It's so stupid.
What do you mean?
If you were smart, you'd be like, yeah, you missed your chance because you got a DQ because you're morons. So now go to the back of the line, you stupid morons, and earn your chance again. No, you don't get an auto rematch, but it's just that we're going to give you a rematch. We want to fight you again. Why? Why are you so stupid? What is your problem?
I don't know. But other than that, I don't know. I thought they brought a good intensity to it. It's just what they're saying didn't make much sense.
That's right.
This match didn't make sense to me.
Well, let me start with this. Okay, so I didn't know anything about Roxanne Perez because I haven't watched NXT, so I don't know, who she is. And you're watching this package explaining who she is, and basically they're saying she's a heel, right? She's like the big heel of NXT.
This was my criticism too. Go ahead.
Yeah, so she's the best heel. Look, she did this. She screwed this person over, but she won this title. She won this title. Okay, great. Why is she wrestling Raquel? They're fucking two heels. It doesn't even make sense. Like, why did this build-up happen? Like, why couldn't you have her wrestle a face to have the qualifying match for the chamber? Like, why did you end up Raquel versus her? It doesn't even make sense. Plus, I don't know if they ever wrestled in NXT because, again, I didn't watch NXT, so I don't know if they ever had a program together. But it just seems odd to me that they placed a heel versus a heel out of nowhere. It just, you know what I mean? Like, usually when they build a heel versus a heel, there's a reason for it. There's a build. Here's just, it's just a qualifying match.
It didn't make any sense to do heel versus heel. And what was even worse about it was Roxanne is a heel, but she's being forced into like a babyface dynamic by the sheer size difference.
Right.
Because fucking Raquel Rodriguez is like 3 of her.
Right.
She is like a foot and a half taller and probably almost 100 pounds heavier, to where it just beggared fucking belief. You know what I mean? This is all like Rey Mysterio. It's not quite Rey Mysterio Big Show, but it's like, man, if this was a real athletic contest, fucking Roxanne Perez has no chance in hell. None. And so it was a weird match because it's a heel versus heel dynamic. The heel that they're debuting and trying to establish from NXT is forced into a babyface role. for no fucking reason. The action they had actually in the match, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought this is a lot better than other women's matches we've seen recently.
Right, for sure.
But it was a very short match also.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very, very short match, and it had a cheap finish as well.
It was
with
very
the
predictable.
interference.
With everything that had happened the night up to now, it was predictable that the Bianca and Naomi were gonna hit the ring. They were gonna interfere somehow. And even the match itself, it started off, Raquel dominates. Well, of course she fucking does. She's 3 times the size of Roxanne. So it's like 10 minutes of domination. Roxanne gets a little bit of offense back. Then you get the interference at the end, and then the match is over. It's like, like nothing there.
Quickly, let's talk about the big developments that happened on NXT. Ricky Starks made his debut. He is not allowed to keep his name. He's not going to be Ricky Starks. They're not going to invest in that IP. They're not going to. He has to have a slave name.
Oh, boy.
So already he's Ricky Saints.
Saints.
Ricky Saints. Ricky Aints. This ain't it, Chief. I don't know. He thought he was going to debut on Raw to these huge pops in front of thousands of people. In fact, he's in the Performance Center, a similar bingo hall to fucking AEW, in front of 500 people with a name change. Suffer, Ricky. Suffer. Should have stayed in Guantanamo Bay, bish. I think he's going to be fucking mid-card at best. At best. I don't think he's getting over. Moose made his appearance on NXT tonight. I really like Moose. He's been the face of TNA for years and years now. He stayed loyal while other people left, like John Morrison left, Brian Cage left, Killer Cross, Karrion Kross left. Back when those 4 were in the main event scene, I really thought TNA was cooking at that time. And it may have been my favorite promotion to watch. But all of those guys left, and all of them did not go on to be very successful. Killer Cross is Karrion Kross. It's a flop.
Terrible.
What's his name? Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo, Johnny whatever you want to call him, John Morrison. He's not really doing anything right now. And then who's the other guy? Brian Cage, just total lower card jobber in AEW. I think they should have stayed loyal to TNA, but, TNA is like, can't really pay these guys for shit, and it's kind of like a jabroni fed. So I get why they left, but I'd like to see Moose rewarded for his loyalty. I'd like to see him have a good push and do well in WWE. I think he's a pretty good worker in the ring. I really like his look. The problem is he can't really talk. And they put him in a faction. I forget what this faction was called, but he was champ for a while. And I think like Eddie Edwards was in the faction and a few other people. And it didn't really work, but I hope that if they give him like a mouthpiece or a manager or something, he can get over and do well. Okay, the Women's Elimination Chamber match is now, I think, finalized.
Yes, it's been finalized. Yep.
So it's Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez. Who do you see winning the Women's Elimination Chamber, Phil?
So it hasn't been officially announced yet, correct? Who Charlotte's going to wrestle at WrestleMania. So we don't know.
She chose Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown.
Oh, did she see? I don't know that. She did. Okay,
and
so
she beat the shit out of Tiffany and then sat over her in a chair, which it was pretty humiliating for Tiffany Stratton. And then Charlotte shit talked her and announced she was going to beat her. And she probably will. So this will be the winner of this will then face Rhea.
Man, I don't think it's going to be Naomi at all. Like, I have zero expectation it would be her. I don't think it's going to be Roxanne at all.
Early. Bayley, no.
I don't think so either, right? No, I would say Liv, Alexa, or Bianca. One of those 3. Probably not Bianca.
The Liv and Rhea program so much lately. Can they do it again?
Right.
Maybe they will. I would say no.
I don't think Bianca, because Bianca's in the tag team right now, so they're not going to pull her out of that to do this program. I don't think.
I think it's either Bianca Belair or Alexa Bliss. I think they'll have Bianca Belair drop the tag titles and win at the Chamber. I think makes the most sense. But then Rhea Ripley is a babyface, so maybe it's Alexa Bliss. But how can you credibly have Alexa Bliss versus Rhea Ripley? Rhea
Right.
Ripley would tear her in fucking half. I mean, you're gonna have to have the Wyatt family involved, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be kind of cringy and fucking weird.
Oh,
I
man.
don't know.
I don't know. This is a tough one. Honestly, but whoever wins, they have a lot of work to do to build up the credibility to make that a good match at WrestleMania. So I guess we're going to have to see what happens there. That's
Like,
not an easy pick
I got
by
to
any
address,
means.
like, Lady Charisma says that when TNA is doing sellouts every taping now. I'm sorry, but TNA, even if they're doing sellouts of 1,500, 2,000 people, can't pay what WWE pays or what
Right.
AEW pays.
I mean, that's very true.
What a clownish take. Like, are you okay? Like, you always have to counter signal what I say. You know? How dare you? It's because she's a woman, Phil. These women don't understand wrestling. Just clowning. But no, TNA is doing really, really well. But again, they're firmly cemented as a third level show. I don't foresee them ever returning to the prominence they even once had. And I root for TNA, and I watch TNA probably more than most people. So I don't know. That's
We had a
crazy to-
couple of super chats again from Dat Pie is over there. First, it was a $5 super chat, and he says, "My king, I will personally offer to send a weekly synopsis of SmackDown and NXT to PP free. I watch all 3 shows weekly. It's no biggie." Yeah, but the thing is, like, we could get the
Yeah, well,
synopsis, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I can get the synopsis.
the
and
point
I
is
can-
watching the show. Having the time. What's the point of reading the synopsis? What you want to do is watch, absorb the pro. Imagine if I was just reading a synopsis of Raw instead of seeing the product. It would have been a totally different experience. You know what I mean? And that's why we're saying if we're going to watch SmackDown, it has to be worth it. The amount of time it's going to be 3 more hours a week of research and watching stuff. So I appreciate that. I get what you're saying, but it's not like we can't get it ourselves. It's that we want to have to, really watch it and absorb it for the show. And then he did a second $5 super chat. Tony Clown needs a Kino Casino style Feltoning for how much of a lolcow he is. From the AEW video game to the Coke to the CM Punk arc, it just writes itself.
Did you ever play the AEW video game, Phil?
I did not. At first, I was going to, but then I saw the graphics and I said, this is some of the worst shit I've seen in so fucking long. There was no way I was going to waste time on that shit. It was such a clown looking game that I just didn't want to bother with it. And apparently I didn't miss anything because it really was a bad game from what I've heard.
I think the biggest fail, and I really think that's where AEW failed big time, because they put so much money and so much hype behind that game. It kept getting delayed. Kenny Omega was involved with it. He obviously had no idea what he was doing. Just because you play video games does not mean that you can direct a video game and tell a team what to fucking do. They fleeced Kenny Omega, fleeced Tony Khan. The con man was conned. And the worst part about it, in my opinion, and what really killed the game, was the character creator. The creator wrestler was so far behind.
Oh, wow.
What WWE is able to do with the creator wrestler, and that's half the fun of the game, is like creating the wrestlers and title belts and arenas, and they just didn't have what it takes, and the gameplay was not there at all. It was just very unbalanced, very fucking shitty. Online play, it was nearly fucking unplayable with lag and issues.
Not surprising there.
No, it was fucking brutal. Okay. Seth Rollins was interviewed.
Yes.
He looked like a big goof.
Yes.
I felt like his heart wasn't in this promo. Like, I felt like even more than usual, it just did not come across right. I don't know what it was about this promo, but I just was not feeling it. I know I say that all the time about Seth, but this time in particular, I said he looked like the Kool-Aid man or something like this. He got bukkakied by a ketchup bottle and the Kool-Aid man with these red fucking shades and the red coat. I don't know. Then Karrion Kross. Did you see this?
Oh my
So it was
God,
like
man!
Karrion Kross comes in.
Why? Why is he still? I still don't get it. We've been watching this for almost 2 months now. I don't understand his character. I don't know why he's influencing anything. I just don't understand anything. I'm lost. What they're doing with this guy? He hasn't wrestled. He wasn't even in the fucking Rumble. So, like, what is he doing in this company? I'm so lost. But why he's still employed at this point?
No, my thing is, okay, if you're gonna have him show up to do these segments, how about we have him wrestle a match?
Right.
How about we give this guy a push or something to fucking do other than like, I'm the whisperer and I'm whispering into people's ear. And it's like, is this ever gonna factor into the Sami Zayn storyline or what? Because it seems to me it's just on the periphery and it's never gonna go anywhere at all. Because it's not gone anywhere in months.
Right.
And we got Alex from Phoenix for $10. We're gonna need 100 bomb to save the show. Who is coming through with the 20 subs, the big $100 dono support, so that we can read the Vince McMahon text? We'll bring back Grill Phil. I have some questions. We need answers, damn it. And Phil's gonna supply them, but only if we get the next $100 and something dollars. And Alex says, let's be real. This partnership heavily favors WWE more than TNA because at the end of the day, WWE is going to squeeze them dry of their top talents like Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry and Moose. I agree. It's the same thing as AEW's deal with New Japan. They stole the entire New Japan roster. What did New Japan get? A fucking Jon Moxley appearance? A Kenny Omega appearance once a year? Don't think it was worth it to lose Okada and not everybody. They've just been fucking pilfered. They were robbed fucking blind. Okay. There was an Io Sky package.
Yes.
I thought this was okay, but I don't know what the aesthetic was. She was like underwater. Last time I checked, she was Io Sky, not Io Water. I don't know. That's like a Phil humor fucking one right there. That's like, oh, buddy. But yeah, she's underwater. There's subtitles for her because she's Japanese.
Yeah.
She's going to have the match with Rhea Ripley. Obviously, she's not going to win. But it was okay. Then let's hear from the New Day.
Hey, we can finally recover from the fact that we cut off the end of Raw last week and no one had any idea what the hell happened.
Yeah.
It was just so bad
Yeah.
that they did that. But yeah, so New Day, I don't know if I'm feeling them at this. I'm gonna be honest because now it just feels like they don't want to get rid of these guys, but everyone
Yeah.
knows it's over. Like that, their era of the 10 years where they were getting pushed, where they were teaming with Big E, and they had, even though a lot of people didn't like that anyway. Right? Oh, it's too kiddie, it's too silly.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but
it worked. They got the crowd going. The kids loved it. They are not working as heels, in my opinion, right now. Like they come out and the crowd's booing them like crazy. They're getting that heat, kind of like Dom.
They had good heat. The crowd was booing and reacting, but. Go ahead, Phil, because I think we're going to pretty much agree on this.
The problem that I have right now is that they just don't seem to really have any direction. Like now they have issue with Rey Mysterio out of nowhere. Like they have this big, unless I'm missing something and I jumped in too late and I don't understand that there was a reason why they don't like Rey and all of that. So now they're going to feud here with the LWO. And I don't know. Like I'm not really excited for it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem like there's any real reason to care. There's no stakes. There's no titles involved. They took Ray out, so now he's out injured, and now the LWO is going to defend the honor and all of that. And I didn't, like I said, they were booed. I liked that, but then the segment didn't seem to go anywhere that I was excited. By the time it was over and the LWO hit the ring and they were fighting, I was like, I've seen this a million times. It's nothing special.
Some of the things Kofi said did kind of surprise me, like when he said he had won more championships than Rey Mysterio.
He did say that, yes.
And I'm like, is that true? I guess it must be true, but I can't really remember any of his title reigns. You know what I mean?
It's the 700 tag titles that he held. You know what I mean? He had the IC title probably a couple times, and then the world title once.
Title,
right?
You know,
but then
his world title run was very bad. Like ended in a disgrace where he was squashed by Brock Lesnar. It was basically a Make-A-Wish title run. He said he's been there for 19 years. Which was like,
I know.
I started thinking about him like,
he was there before the first run of CM Punk, if you can believe that.
There back in like 2006, I guess, was when he made his debut. Which is crazy that he's been employed for that long. He's seen so many people come, so many people go. But I think it's time, it's been almost 20 years. It might be time to just go. might be time to pack it up because I don't see how they repackage him. Honestly, my favorite version of Kofi Kingston was the original version of Kofi Kingston when he first debuted
When he
in
was Jamaican.
2000, when he was Jamaican. When I was a kid, I loved that shit. I loved like Kofi Kingston, Jamaican Kofi Kingston. He was super athletic. He was getting really over. And then I think he had a spot where he fucked up with Randy Orton. And then Randy Orton kind of buried his whole fucking career for a long time after that. And he never was a main eventer really until his Make-A-Wish run.
Right.
So that was my favorite era of Kofi Kingston. I remember being disappointed as a kid when he stopped being Jamaican because I like the Jamaican accent, man. I think it's really funny, Phil. Oh, buddy. Anyway, okay, then we got Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. The match was decent.
First off, at some point, we have to get more support because we have to buy boxes of Topps cards to start opening on the show and see if we can get some of these premium pulls. You know what I'm saying? They keep doing these Topps card ads.
You need to do the card pulls, Phil. Are you being tempted?
When I was I swear to God, when I was a kid, I collected. First was baseball cards. Then I got more into like pop culture. So like when every movie came out, there'd be like the fucking Batman movie cards. You know what I mean? But then I got really heavy into like Marvel. So I had like the Marvel masterpieces, the X-Men series 1 and 2. I had like the good ones. So I had the ones autographed cards and shit. And I lost them all over the years. Like I don't have any of them anymore. But I'm watching and they're like the Topps cards with the premium. I'm looking, I'm like, oh fuck. Like I get that.
Let's order some packs. Let's stop pulling the digital cards and start pulling the physical
The real
cards.
The real cards.
You could sell the physical cards if you make a good pull, Phil.
Oh my goodness.
It's a physical, tangible thing.
It's true.
You don't have to give it all to Scopely, sire. Sire, Scopely has enough. You've given them enough.
They do.
It's a sunk cost fallacy, though, Phil. This is the thing with your Scopely addiction.
Of course, yes.
They keep offering you these incredible bargains and deals because of your loyalty.
That's
and then
right.
it forces you to keep spending and spending and spending on the game.
And then you've played it for so long and you've already invested so much time, you feel like you're losing out if you quit because you're losing out on everything you've already put into it. It's just it's endless fucking cycle. That's how they get you with all of these goddamn mobile games with gambling, any kind of gambling. That's exactly what it is. Exactly.
Have you thought of going to counseling or therapy?
Well, you know, if it actually gets that bad, you know what I'm saying? Like if I actually got
out of
control.
Not that bad. You went bankrupt, sire.
That was many years ago. That was many years ago. That doesn't.
We concede the spending, sire. Please, we beggeth you, go to fucking therapy.
I don't know what you're talking about. I sold that
Sir!
account. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sir, you didn't sell it. We know you didn't sell it.
What are you speaking of? How dare you?
Get some help. Get some help, Phil. Please. We need you to be around to play
I'm not
the
going
video
anywhere.
game.
I'm not going anywhere. Trust me.
Oh man, bro.
But if we start buying these Topps cards, my whole set may be stacks of fucking cards.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
Mountains of cards coming off.
So I'm off next week. Me and Andy are going on vacation. When we come back, let's hit this goal and let's see Phil get some cards. If we hit the goal, Phil, will you get at least one pack of cards to open on stream?
A pack for sure, but I was going to say a box because the box is how it's at.
Box?
But I don't know. That's what I used to do when I used to collect cards.
The boxes? How much are the boxes?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I'd have to look into it.
Let's look it up. WWE Topps cards.
I wonder what they cost today.
Box price.
Back in the day, I mean, we're talking like the 90s. A box of cards would run like maybe $30. So they're probably like 100, 200 now.
It's only I think $30 or
What?
something like that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How many packs are in the box?
I don't know. Let me look. This is the value box. I don't know how many packs. Is it 4?
That's nothing. See, I'm talking about, like, for example, when I say a box, you go to the store and they actually have the box with the cardboard standee. So it's like 30, 40 packs. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of cards. Because when you buy the box, you can almost usually get the whole set in one go. So you don't have, you know what I mean? It's fun. You get the, it's a gotcha. You're like, oh, can I get the card? It's actually exciting to go through.
Guys,
People,
let's hit this goal. Let's smash it. Let's see a big 20, 25 sub bomb. Dang Sneed Pimp, where are you at? Iron Chef Sakai. We give him the if he donates, otherwise he's Kakai. Where are you at? Where are the whales to make this happen? Because we got it. This is actually going to help Phil. If we can get Phil to transfer his addiction to sweaty JPEG men to physical, tangible cards of sweaty, shirtless wrestling men, then he'll actually have something at the end of the day. Instead of just being scammed by Scopely. Guys, please save Phil's life. Please let him buy this fucking case of cards or something. For God's sake, man. He's fucking dying.
Can you?
Please.
Drew Corporation is saying you can actually buy the boxes straight from Tops now too. So I have to look into it. I'm sure there's a way to do it where you get the unopened box and it's probably cheaper. I'm I'm definitely not going to a store and buying that shit because they rip your ass off. But I'm sure you can get it online. I guess
we need to look into it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Sounds like something interesting we could do.
I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun, but they're withholding.
Yeah.
You see that they're withholding? I don't like this whole withholding business, Phil. They need to pay, and they need to pay now. You'll pay now. You'll pay Phil now.
Okay.
Big time. All right. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. It was a good enough match.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. Here's the deal. This was great. The first time they met, what was it, 2016, when it was for the title, and it was very hype and exciting. To see them in 2025, they're doing it again, and it's like they're hitting the spots, they're doing the moves, but it's kind of like, again, it's kind of like a Sami Zayn KO match. We've seen this before. We've seen the song and dance. It's a random Raw match. It's hard to get excited. It really is. Like, it's hard to see this match and get excited again, especially because we know there's not a fucking snowball's chance in hell that Finn Balor is winning this match. We know that Seth is going over. So to have this the main event of Raw is a little disappointing, in my opinion. If this was like a mid-card match, but to have this the main event, you know who's going over. And on top of that, the end of the match is like it doesn't build anything. The end of the match it's an ending. You're like, well, kind of deflating, in my opinion.
I guess it was better than Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. Like, I can't say it was the worst main event we've seen so far. But similar to that match, at no point do you think Finn Balor is going to win. I didn't buy into any of the spots, like when he had Seth in the crossface and towards the end.
Right.
I didn't think Seth was going to tap. I knew that Seth had to go to the chamber to have the confrontation with Punk and McIntyre and, build that forward. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. Seth was selling the ribs throughout.
Yes.
There was a good psychology to the match. It came together. It was clean. It was a good match. I mean, these guys aren't going to have a bad match. You know what I mean? They're both really good workers.
Right.
It's just I didn't really have a lot of investment in the match, and
That's
I feel like it kind of fell flat in the end.
Right. With Logan Paul versus Ray, it was a horrible match, but I was fascinated because I wanted to see if Ray could still go. I wanted to see if Logan Paul was going to do well with that dynamic and how they were going to spin Logan Paul's plot line. And this, it was like, I just don't care. Like, it's a pure match based on athleticism. And if you respect the sport for what it is, if you respect the athleticism part of wrestling, this is a great match. But outside of that, it did absolutely nothing for me for plot. And it kind of was a deflator for the end of the show. I was hoping maybe something would happen at the end of the show. Maybe because Alex from Phoenix just made a great point in the chat.
Yes,
So what does this mean with Roman Reigns? Exactly. Where is he? What's going on? Will Roman now interfere and make Seth lose at the Chamber? And that builds something towards WrestleMania. That's what we need to know. If something had happened with that at the end of Raw, maybe we would have, like, if Roman just came to the ramp and stared him down or something, maybe that would have been interesting. But instead, it's just kind of like a very boring ending to the show. Which, I don't know what's worse, to not have your ending because you cut the show early so you don't know what happened, or to just have a deflating, boring ending. I don't know what's worse, honestly. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a slight step up from last week's show. Last week's show, the matches were pretty bad.
Yeah.
The botching
was unbearable. Yeah.
Up and down the card where it kept taking you out of matches. And, it was in a holding pattern, the same as this week, except this week's matches were a bit more competently executed. But at the same time, it just feels like we're kind of spinning our tires. It doesn't feel like we're in WrestleMania season yet. Maybe it's really going to pick up after the Chamber, but what surprises me is we're told about this Triple H era that there's this long-term booking. We need to trust the plan. It's all going to come together, and yet I don't see that.
Yeah.
I saw that last year. I don't see that this year. I don't think that I think they might have had a plan and something went awry. Because right now it doesn't really make any fucking sense. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know where this is going. And it just feels like everything is kind of murky and directionless. And then we got a 3 sub bomb. Or no, it's $20.
$20.
Wow, $20. It's not quite what we needed, but it's adequate. Not quite what we needed to hit the goal, but that's acceptable. We'll take. Let's go. $20.
Yeah, from I Got a Question for God, Why? And they're singing the lyrics to My Sacrifice by Creed, which is hilarious. Okay, then.
You must sacrifice so we can hit the goal.
There you go.
Dig deep and sacrifice.
There was
All
a
right,
couple
Oh.
small tips. You're not going to be super excited. A couple dollar tips here. I just want to shout them out.
Dollar tips.
So there was Slayer for
Did we
$1.
ban the dollar tippers.
Well, Slayer is my
Like-
moderator, so I don't think I should ban it.
What the how did he get to mod with dollar contributions, Phil? He was shitting on me earlier, wasn't he? He didn't like me, but
So Slayer says, here's a bit of a tip. I want to say there's a lot of big names that are in WWE or NXT or TNA who actually came from WCPW, like Drew McIntyre or Cody. Gunther was actually the internet champion there. Ricochet, Noam Dar, Pete Dunne. Pento was even there, apparently, even Joe Henry. So the promotion is indie-based, and they don't have a lot of budget, but they actually do good booking and matches. So it does make it worthwhile to check it out. And Joe Henry did have a good run there. Maybe you should eventually watch back some NXT. Okay, and then there was hold on, because there was a second tip. Is it also from him or? Oh, it was. Okay, so he's trying to get us caught up on NXT. He got cut off. That's why. So he says, I just want to say, since you didn't watch NXT, Roxanne Perez had a fatal 4-way match for the title. It was between Bayley, Cora Jade, and Julia. I guess that's the Julia. I guess it's kind of spelled really weird. So this was after that match. And an A-Town Down Under had a triple threat match against Oba Femi. Jesus, these names. Oba Femi, Julia.
Oba Femi?
Who can pronounce or understand these names that they're coming up with over there? Who was that other one? Lash Legend or something? Like, what the fuck? Like, sounds like you're going to get your eyebrows done or something. Like, I don't understand these names anymore. But anyway, so he says, the current NXT champion, that's why the interview had tension on Raw. Yeah, see, so I think the point Slayer is making is that if you watch all the product, a lot of this stuff that we aren't understanding, watching only one show makes sense. But the point we're making is this is the reason, Slayer, why I stopped watching wrestling. Because I can't invest fucking 3 hours for Raw, fucking 4 hours for SmackDown, 3 hours for NXT, but then there's LFG that's going on, but then there's this that's going on. I have a life and I
There's
like
just
pro
a
wrestling,
lot.
but there's too much. It's too much to invest all that effort.
It basically has to be the only hobby you have if you're gonna do it all the way.
Right.
And watch everything.
Right. And it's like,
And then there's the independent promotions, that are beyond even that. And if you don't keep up on that, you're not a good enough wrestling fan to be graced with an opinion. If you didn't watch Bingo Hall, Sumo Hall 97 match with 60 fucking people in attendance in Japan, apparently you have no fucking idea what you're talking about and your opinion is worth toilet paper. But I think that most of these people don't even watch that fucking shit, and they're all just posers. And the ones that do are pretentious asswipes who are pretending to enjoy this garbage.
well, even back in the day when I did this show over a decade ago, all right, I watched Raw, I watched SmackDown, and I watched TNA back then. Those were like the big three that I was watching. And even just watching those three, I had to make the decision to cut out TNA because it was just slop every week and it was so much investment. And I get it when you're in it, when you're in the thick of it and you're a big fan and it's your thing, I totally get it. But it got to a point in my life where it just became unbearable to watch that much. And I think you should be able to watch what you want. Like if you like Raw or you like SmackDown or you like NXT or you like any one of these, you should be able to just watch one. I don't think that you should have to invest that much time and effort into it. I'm sorry. Maybe people will disagree with me, and that's fine if you do. But I'm 42 years old, almost 43. My birthday is right around the corner, everyone, just so you know. And and so I'm not going to be watching 15 hours of wrestling a week. I'm sorry if I don't get a reference. I hope you guys still like the show. I really enjoy
He's
doing this show
old.
every week, but it's just too much, you know? And I hope that people understand that you can be a casual fan of something and still like it or criticize it. You have the right. Like for me, I haven't watched wrestling in 5 years, so me coming back into this has been a unique perspective. I think my perspective is a lot different than a lot of other people who've been watching the product the whole time, but that doesn't mean that my opinion's invalid because I didn't know that there was an interview over on another show or there's a plot line. We're talking about possibly doing something with SmackDown, but we'd have to figure out how to watch it. For me, the problem is me because it's not on Netflix, it's not on Peacock, it's not on anything to watch every week, and I don't have TV. I'm not gonna fucking get cable to watch SmackDown every
You
week.
should get
You know?
cable, sire.
Oh,
You
yeah.
should get cable.
$80
It's
a
the
month now
best.
to watch that shit.
It's
Like, come
great.
on.
It's the best. It has the DVR with TiVo.
Oh god.
You
I
can
had that
record
ages
up to
ago.
8 programs at once.
I had that
You
ages
can
ago. I'm not going
pause
back to
and
that.
rewind and fast forward TV.
So
I
stupid.
used to sell cable TV. It's the bomb.
Dat Pie over there did another $2 super chat and says LFG is a reality show, but NXT is only 2 hours. That's another thing. NXT, I looked into it. It's not on Peacock. The only NXT that's on Peacock is their like pay-per-views. Where the hell do you watch regular NXT? Like, why is it so
I-
fucking hard to watch
This guy
everything?
Steve Cobain goes, is PPP Canadian Kirk? Captain Kirk is Canadian, you ignoramus. He's from Montreal. What are you talking about?
No, I
William
think
Shatner's from Canada.
oh my god.
What's
I
this
think they're
guy
talking
on
about someone specific. They're talking about someone specific
What?
Canadian Kirk in my kick chat. It's a stupid nothing.
Canadian Kirk?
Yes, there was a guy, Canadian Kirk, who he was been in my chat for many years. He started saying dumb racist shit. He got banned from my YouTube chat a
Oh, what a
zillion
king.
times. Then he comes back. He goes on Kick and he says it, and people are mad because he keeps coming back under different
Because
accounts
he's
and shit.
awesome and based? Let's go. Let's go, racism.
I knew somehow you would say that. I knew.
Yeah, you knew I was going to say that. Oh, no. Oh, no. He did a heckin' racism. He was politically incorrect in a YouTube chat. Let's crucify Phil. Somebody in his chat hurt a libtard's feelings, triggered some snowflake, and now the whole world is ending. Let's cheer on Canadian Kirk or whoever the fuck this is. I didn't even know. Like, I
know.
actually didn't even know.
I know.
What a king! What a legend! I'm like, no, Captain Kirk is Canadian, you fucking a-hole. Well, speaking of which, it's now time for Grill Phil.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So,
To end the
Phil,
show.
I've received a bunch of DMs. Apparently, you're complaining about Panda Express. You're saying it's not gourmet, authentic Panda Express. Was this the first time you ate out Panda and you were disappointed, or what happened?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. So
What happened, bro?
the story. Well, first of all, I actually used to eat Panda
First off,
Express.
the honey walnut shrimp is fucking delicious, Phil.
Is it? Because
First
I've
of
actually
all-
never had that there. I used to eat it back in
Oh.
the day. Back in the 90s, I worked in a mall, and Panda Express was one of the things in the food court, and I would eat like the orange chicken, the teriyaki chicken. I was actually there the week when they released teriyaki chicken at Panda Express, if you can
You
believe
were
it.
there.
I was that old. I'm that fucking old, okay? So the thing
Holy
was like
fuck, man, we got to get you in the nursing home. Fucking dementia patient here.
so the funny part about it was back then it wasn't a big deal, but I would eat it every once in a while. And then I had a friend who started working there. He worked there for like 5 years, right? And then he was in his 20s and he's like the manager now. And he started telling me about it. He goes, so basically at Panda Express, what we do is in the morning, everything's actually fresh. We take it out, we'll cook it, we make it, put it in the fucking metal containers or whatever. It goes into the heat. He goes, if you eat right in the morning, it's good. But if you eat at any point during the day, except when we're changing out the tray, you're basically eating 4+ hour old ass food that's sitting out there that's overcooked because that heat lamp is just continuously cooking the food all day, which is why you can get it one day and it's like juicy and delicious. And the next day it'll come, it'll be like fucking hard and dry and crunchy and like shoe leather, right? So when he told me that, I was like, hey, if I'm going to eat there, maybe I'll keep my eyes peeled for when they're swapping out the trays and I'll try to get the fresh stuff. So people have recommended to me for DSP tries it, maybe in the next couple of episodes that I try Panda Express. And I was like, it might be interesting because I haven't done that in many, many years. I haven't had it. And there is one close to me, actually, right here where I live. But my wife, about 5 years ago, all right, she was at her job and she was on break and she went with a coworker and they went to lunch at Panda Express and she got the orange chicken. And she said she got it and she went to eat it and it literally was like chewing on like tough meat. Like you could tell it was like way
Well,
messed up.
my question is, why did she continue eating it?
She didn't. She ate 2 pieces, so the first piece was kinda like, not so good, and the second piece was, like, gross, right? She only ate the 2 pieces. She tried eating the rice. She said the rice was flavorless. It was supposed to be fried rice. It was, like, so bland. So, basically, she didn't really eat that lunch, and she got stomach, like, sickness. Like, she got food poisoning
Yeah.
from this. For, like, a day, she was, like, couldn't stop vomiting. It was so
Well,
disgusting.
my question is, what's the difference between that and typical Chinese food? Because it's all pretty much the same shit, right?
If
It's
you're
all like,
If you're talking Americanized Chinese food, you're actually right. Like, Americanized
yeah,
Chinese food is not real. It's fake shit. That's not
it's
the
not what
authentic
they
stuff.
eat in China.
If you wanna eat what they eat in China, you have to get what's called Szechuan Chinese. That shit
Oh,
is good.
okay.
That shit is very good, and you're gonna notice that a lot of their dishes are very spicy, and that's because that's real
Here's
Chinese
my
food.
hot take about it, Phil. Chinese food is a thing of the past.
Uh,
Chinese food has been outclassed by Japanese food for at
That's
least a decade now.
that's true.
Once the Japanese food came in, why the fuck would you order Chinese food? The Japanese food is way fresher, way tastier. It's just
Healthier.
on a whole
Healthier
other
for you.
yeah, healthier. It's on a whole other culinary level of excellence. So it's been a long time since I get Chinese food. But my whole thing is this: if I am gonna get Chinese food, it's probably going to be Panda Express
Huh.
because I feel like Panda Express has a higher level of sanitation standards as a chain than the average Chinese restaurant. Because the average Chinese restaurant, you don't know if they're feeding you dog, if they're feeding you cat, if they're feeding you shit that fell on the fucking floor. They don't give a fuck. So, like, I don't know. For me, it's like, I don't know why you would say Panda Express is worse than the other options. You know
Well,
what I mean when it
you
comes to Chinese food?
you may have a point because a few years ago, there was a place in downtown, the town that I live, and it was brand new Chinese restaurant, and my wife and I said, "Let's order from there, let's test it." And we got it, and number 1, it didn't taste like what they said it was, you know what I mean? Like, it says, "Oh, it's gonna be chicken." You're eating like, "This doesn't taste like chicken, like, what could this possibly fucking be?" And it was also like this liquidy, dark-ass sauce that's not normal, like, it's not the normal sauce you would have on Chinese food. I ate it, and I fucking shat my brains out for, like, a day. It was so bad. It was, like, really bad. So, I think you're right. When you're not going with a chain, you're taking a chance, but I basically live in Asian Central. Where I live in Washington State is, like, everyone who flies into the
Oh,
United
Mr.
States.
Phil.
No, I'm
We do
serious.
the Chinese food, Mr. Bonnell.
Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Hawaiian, like all the Asian cultures, when they come to the United States, they go to this airport because this is the one where they fly in, and then they go from that and they branch off to other flights to go to the rest of the country. Well, a lot of them just stayed here. So there's a ton of that Asian culture here. We do have really good places. Like I actually recently did on stream get Chinese food from a local place that was super fucking good. It's like way better than what you get at Panda Express. But you got to find the good ones. You got to test. You got to
So
order from these fucking places to find the good places.
here's the thing. So what's with this 220 number? So they keep posting it. I thought at first it was my title belt because it's
Oh
number
no.
two,
No.
221 out of 370.
It's a
Then
dumb
I thought
detractor
maybe
thing.
it was your weight. Like
No.
maybe you had lost weight and you were 220 or something like this.
It's just
What's the
another dumb detractor meme. I actually don't know the full explanation. It has something to do with Broside Phil, and I just don't give a shit. So I'm sure someone could figure out the full story and explain it. I
they're
really
saying
don't know the full
they're
story.
saying to me it's a police code?
Probably, it probably is. Who
It's a
fucking knows?
police code for mental illness or something
From
like this,
from
Phil?
the purely 100% trustworthy, sure, I believe that he used to be a cop, Broside Phil, giving us this insight into the police codes and stuff. I mean, that's definitely the
Okay.
source that I go to
So
for
then
that shit.
the other question they want me to ask is, do you have these security cameras on your house like this female cop is saying, or
Security cameras on my
Yeah,
house, like a female
apparently
cop is saying.
you have like 40 or 50 security cameras on your house.
There, some people have the Ring doorbells, what you know, the ones that go right into the internet. So several people around here have those. There are a couple security cameras that go along the main road. Particularly, we have, I believe, one pointing at our mailbox because our mailbox was vandalized a few years ago, and someone destroyed it and stole all the mail. So now we have cameras all along there. But outside of that, no, we don't have a ton of security cameras.
Well, because
A
people
few.
started to doubt this story because there's not any sort of installation or work that is done that you don't tell everybody about. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like whenever like the contractors come by, you tell everybody. So I doubted it from the beginning that you had all these security cameras
Yeah,
because wouldn't
no.
you have told everybody on stream that you got them installed as like a warning to the trolls?
I mean, probably. I mean, the truth is, our neighborhood is very safe because we have a good neighborhood watch. Everyone keeps an eye on everything. If you're gone and someone to see someone near your house, they call the cops. This is a private road I live on, so if you're here and we don't know who you are, the cops will show right up and trespass you right off the property. That's why I live
Huh.
here because I need that level of safety with some of these fucking nut jobs out there. You know what I mean? So but I don't know. I never installed like a massive security system. There's basic stuff, that's for the whole neighborhood, but no, nothing crazy. I don't know who
Okay, so
said that. I didn't even hear that.
Little Green Man for 5 says Broside Phil called the officer that Phil spoke with and said he was labeled a 220, which is code for a mentally unstable person. But Phil is the most stable guy I know. Phil shows up and does streams 6 days a week. Phil, is this true? Are
Oh,
you a
I don't know.
220, Phil?
I wouldn't know and I wouldn't care. First of all, I don't even know if he spoke with the real person I spoke with because I didn't give him the name. So if he found through some kind of research who this was, also if you actually think that anything he does is reputable, like how could you ever verify that what he said is real? Even if he recorded a conversation, it doesn't mean it's the person he says it is. Could have been
That's what
somebody
I
coached
well,
into a
maybe it was an
conversation.
actor. I thought it was a hired actress, to be honest. Like the idea that years later she's gonna remember you. I
Exactly.
mean, maybe you really are that remarkable and unique of an individual that she would remember, but
Right.
they're dealing with so many calls a day, a week, a month, a year. And then it's like, why are you taking your time to answer this random guy for a half hour on the phone, calling him a 220?
Doesn't make sense. And the conversation that I had with that person was short. It was maybe 10, 15 minutes. It was mostly about the death threat that I had gotten and then them filing the police report and all of that. And then just as the aside was me talking about, hey, I get thousands of dollars of chargebacks via PayPal. Would you ever look into that and help me with that? That was it. And the answer was no, we don't do that.
Bagel Goose is saying 220 is half a PPP. Maybe that's what they're getting at. Now, Papagino says if you didn't know about it, then why is 220 banned in your kick chat?
Because everyone spammed it for 2 straight days, and that's against the spam policies. I don't want everyone spamming the fucking number. The thing is, I've been through this a zillion times. Some dumbass detractor comes up with a new meme. They come into my chat, and all of a sudden, a whole bunch of new accounts start spamming it. I'm like, what is this? So I ask, and then no one will answer. And so they just keep spamming like brainless mouth droolers. And I say, okay, bye. Ban, ban, ban. And then the thing is, I didn't even do it. My moderators put in stuff so that now that term gets auto blocked because
Yeah.
they were tired of moderating it. They're like fucking tired of seeing
Maybe
this shit.
here's my solution. Let them spam it and then sell a 220 Dark Side Phil t-shirt.
Well, see, that's the problem is none of these idiots would ever spend $1 to actually help. They're just there to fucking derail my business. So if that were the
But who
case,
knows? Maybe if we should embrace the detractor memes and have fun with it instead of seething.
if I were to roll with the meme and they actually would be like, ha, that's funny. Okay, then we'll actually throw Phil a bone. Then I would. Like I've done that before. Many years ago, there was a meme, a frog, like a cartoon frog that they were all posting. And I have no clue what it was, but it was a detractor meme. So I said, you know what? That's funny. Let's start using it. And I actually had them make a meme like my face as the frog and shit. And guess what happened? When I owned the meme, they all just stopped using it and it just went away because they didn't, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
well, then that's the solution. You own the meme, and then they'll stop doing the meme, and then you don't have to ban it. You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying. I totally get that, but what's the point? It's already done. Like they're trying and
Because then you stay positive and you're having fun and you're winning instead of being perceived as seething and banning and losing. You see what I'm saying?
but I get it, but who's perceiving me like that? Not my viewers. My viewers are annoyed that they see it. My viewers like, what the fuck is this spam? We just want to chat and have a good time. And they would rather have me take
The
care of it
thing
than let
is,
them run rampant with it, you know? And that's the problem.
now what's his name here? What's his name? Oblivion is saying that's why the detractor streams are getting more viewers because they let people say whatever they want. So you can't compete with them when you're banning. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, you can't let people say whatever they want because these people are unhinged. You see what
I'm
they
not
do.
saying
They
you allow them to post people's real names or
exactly.
doxes or anything like
Exactly.
that. There has to be some limit, and even over there, I think they have to do those limits so far as like doxing and stuff, or else they might be in violation of TOS. But what I'm saying is maybe it's time to let them go wild. Maybe it's time to let them have fun. Phil doesn't like this idea. I'm just fucking with you, Phil.
No, dude, I've
I'm
been
just
here's the thing, I've done this before. You know what I'm saying? Like I've tried all of this. Back in the day,
you
with
tried it all, huh?
with YouTube, before I was a full-time streamer on YouTube, I told everyone's complaining that I'm moderating my comments too much, so I'm not going to moderate
Yeah.
any video comments. So I stopped moderating entirely. I didn't even look at them, right? Within about 6 months of that, I had my longest term supporters coming to me and they're like, "Phil, you got to actually do us a solid. We actually want you to turn off your video comments." I'm like, "Why?" Like, you have no idea. Racism, sexual stuff, addresses are being posted, like the most vile stuff. And we don't expect
Well,
you to moderate it
I
full time.
was okay with the first two, and then
Well, of
it got a
course.
little bit crazy after that. But
So I
everything
actually had to turn off my comments for years until YouTube instituted an auto system to catch the bad shit. So now I don't have to sit there moderating it manually anymore. You know, now I can have my video comments on again because YouTube has that system. So that's what I mean. These people, you give them an inch, they'll take 17 miles because you gave them the inch. They're not rational fucking people. I wish I could roll with it, but then the whole chat would just be 220 all day and no normal viewer would be able
see,
to say
I
anything.
yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just feel like it's not a zero-sum game. Like I feel like you could win and the detractors could win and everybody could win and like create content together in the ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? But like it doesn't seem like from what you're saying that that's possible, but maybe it is if we change our mindsets a little bit.
If they would work with me on shit, like realistically, I would be open-minded to doing stuff. But the problem is they don't. That's really the problem is the problem is they want to monetize as much as possible. Now, how do you monetize
Well,
as much as
yeah,
possible? You go as extreme as you can because that's what gets you the views. Instead of it being let's
yes.
let's razz Phil today about something, right? It's let's actually make something up that didn't happen and pass it as a fact. And that's where I draw the line. There's a difference between Phil's dumb. He played a game shitty. He did this wrong. He did that wrong.
But
I get all that.
if
That I
but
can get.
if it didn't really happen, why would it matter? If they made it up, why would it matter? Because it's not true.
It's vile stuff. Some of the stuff they, you know, like
Yeah,
Duty
but
said that
yeah,
Duty actually literally said this in a video. Phil said that he thinks that executives should be thrown into the street and publicly shot. And here's the video he did it with the
that's
timestamp.
based. I think that's cool.
But
I
he's
think I
But he's literally
like he's
calling to
telling
action
me
his
on film.
viewers to report me for it. And that's the problem is if people are taking these erroneous actions, what if I get hurt by
Is
it?
he
You know what I'm
actually
saying?
asking? See, that's what I think is bizarre is the guys who want you reported or banned, because then the gravy train is over for them. Because without Phil, there is no detractor content, hence there is no money. You know what I mean? So
But
it's just baffling to me
I
that they
agree.
would suggest such a thing as that.
I agree. If they would be more logical and understand that I'm okay making fun of myself in the modern day, like back in the day I totally wasn't, but now I am. I mean, look at this fucking show that we do every week where I get made fun of constantly. I
I
think it's
think what you need to do is cut a behind the scenes deal with the detractors for a certain cut of the revenue, Phil.
oh, I'm sure they're definitely going to do that. They're going to send me money.
Maybe they will. Maybe they will, Phil.
All
Maybe
right.
if you give them the license to sell Phil merchandise or something like that, Phil.
All right, detractors, everyone, contact me and we'll talk about sending me money. This sounds like this is definitely going to happen.
This is the thing is, it's actually the case is it's the secret detractor Discord. They're already sending Phil money.
There you
And
go.
they just don't know that by supporting their favorite detractor, they're actually supporting Phil.
There you go.
Phil, okay, one final one here on Grill, Phil. So I was watching earlier today. You talked about a story about like some developers that got laid off.
Yeah.
and you were talking about how you got laid off at a helicopter company one
Mhm.
time. And I was just curious, like, what is a day in the life of Phil at the helicopter company? Like, what did you do there?
Oh, well, it's interesting. I started off as a customer service rep where I worked for the repairs part, where basically what would happen is, let's say you're a company who owns a helicopter and your helicopter has a breakdown, right? Oh shit, this part broke. So you would call me and I would facilitate getting your part in and then getting it to our repair shop because we had an in-home repair shop or in-house repair shop. Or if we couldn't do it, I would find a place in the world because we worked worldwide where we could ship it for you, get it repaired, get the quote. You would pay us, and then we'd send it back to you. Or in some cases, we had loaner parts where we could get you a part, in between so you could get flying more quickly. I did that for like 2, 3 years. And then they pulled me off of that and wanted me to do all this other work. They wanted me to do what's called continuous improvement work, where you have to do
What's
all this.
that?
You have to do all this training on how to basically analyze a process from start to
Oh,
finish.
so you trained people?
No, they trained me, and then I trained
Oh,
people on continuous improvement, and I ran giant projects. I actually had a huge project I ran
well,
from
it
start to
makes
finish.
sense. Like the idea of continuous improvement, that's kind of what you do on your stream every day with the business meetings. So you kind of took the application of continuous improvement, and then you do that during your pre stream where you tell everybody, well, what did I do wrong? Why didn't we hit the goal, guys? What can we do to improve? I'm starting to see. So they actually must have had a lot of faith in you then to make you the head trainer.
Well, I wasn't the head trainer. Oh, no, 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 no. I was in
Oh,
in my department, I was the guy responsible for continuous improvement. So I actually ran a huge event where everyone involved with this process got together and we were in boardrooms constantly. We were doing these mapping it out. Where's the bottleneck? What's not working? What's working? And we redesigned the entire process from the ground up. We had the IT department redesign the whole coding of the process to put in the part information and shit. And it took like a year. It took like a year of my job was doing that. And then after that, they basically didn't know what to do with me because they didn't need me in customer support anymore, and they laid me off. So I did all that work, and then they fucking cut the cord and laid my ass off.
okay. But from what I understood, wasn't your father the head honcho of this company?
No, not at all. He was in the company, but he wasn't the head honcho. He was a very small potatoes.
Wasn't he a big deal there though?
No, not at all. He was
Because
he
what
was
they say is that he got you hired, that it was a nepo hire.
No, he had no clout in that whatsoever. When I was hired, he wasn't even working with the same people or in the same building as the people who hired me. It was a completely different department and everything. Some people knew him in the company, but that's definitely not why I got hired. I got interviewed by 3 separate managers for 3 separate jobs, and they were competing to get me for that job because they all wanted me
So
for their own departments.
you were in high demand then.
Well, I had a good education, I had a degree. A lot of the people working there didn't have a degree. And, they had seen my track record of things that I had done and thought that it was a good fit. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just don't understand how you got laid off. It's crazy.
Reorganization fucks the whole company and they were downsizing. They got bought out by a big company. The big company didn't even want to have people working there anymore. They wanted to outsource everything to Asia, and they did. The whole company's gone now. That company doesn't even exist anymore. They outsourced all the workers. So, pretty messed up.
So they ultimately didn't outlast Darkside Phil either.
Nope. It was
The
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 hilarious part
king in
was
the end won.
years later, okay, I'm sitting at my local pizzeria, okay? I'm successful. I'm making ridiculous money on YouTube now, and sitting across from me is the motherfucker who laid me off. I swear to God, it just happened.
No
And,
way.
and I'm staring at him just like this. And he
The
looks up,
karmic justice of the universe, huh,
and,
Phil?
and I'm just shaking my head because I'm like, I know for a fact now, making stupid gaming videos on YouTube, I make more money than that motherfucker over there who laid me off. And it was a pretty good moment.
So they're saying in chat, what is the ACE certificate? Do you have an ACE certificate?
Oh, that is the initial certificate you get when you qualify as being a certain level of training it's called Achieving Competitive Excellence. That's the name of the program that continuous improvement is within Sikorsky. That's the company that was the parent company. So I had a certificate. It means you went through a certain level of hours and hours of training and you participated in events, and then you earn that certificate. So yes, I did
I
have that
see.
certificate.
Do you still have it?
I have no clue. I think he might have found it when we were cleaning out my closet like 3 years ago. If it might still be in there somewhere. I don't have it on hand though.
Because people want to see the mythical ace certificate, apparently.
I'd have
This
to
is
dig
a
through. Yeah.
This is a holy relic of Phil lore. What I'm saying, Phil, you should take these holy items of Phil lore and you should auction them on eBay or a similar site and see what the detractors would be willing to pay for these holy relics of Phil.
Who knows? Maybe they would actually pay something for them, or they probably flood me with thousands of fake bids and ruin the whole auction anyway. So
No, come on. I don't know. I feel like we're going to enter a glorious new era of detractor dark side Phil reciprocity. It's going to be like a co-prosperity sphere where everybody wins together, Phil. Wouldn't it be nice?
maybe someday.
Are we gonna hit this goal for fucking
No.
us to read the Vince McMahon text or what?
No, we're not.
Who's got what are we at? 390 or something?
Oh, we're over 400 at this. Frank,
Oh my god!
to be
let's
frank-
hit it, and then we'll do SmackDown and Raw coming up.
let's put it this way: if we hit it, we got to do it next week, whatever we're doing, because it already went.
Yeah.
And I got to get out of here. But
All right, well, let's get the hell out of here then. Guys, you failed us. You fucking withheld. Very stingy tonight. Very lacking in support.
that's
I'm
not true.
disappointed in
That's
all of
not
you
true
people.
at all. Absolutely
This is
not.
fucking brutal. Like, how are we going to explain this to the detractors? This embarrassing failure. This meager result of only $400. Holy fuck, man. I hang my head in shame. The show is felted. It's canceled. Again, I just want to clarify for everybody. There's going to be no Kino Casino next week.
That's right.
No Smart Guys next week.
That's right.
We will be returning March 4th for this program, which will feature the Elimination Chamber review.
Right.
That edition of Monday Night Raw. And if we get the support for the goal right now, we'll even throw in SmackDown and the Vince McMahon text messages. But you know what? It seems like the siren whale call, it's not hitting. It's over. Steve won, guys. You let us down. Slimy Steve, Subversive Steve, Snake Steve won again. What a disaster. And that was after probably a world record of begging.
That was.
We even did,
Yeah.
we did Televangelist PPP. We busted out Pignosis Phil.
That's right.
And we still couldn't get it. Unbelievable disrespect and withholding from this audience. Shame on all of you. We did what we were meant to do. You guys just couldn't hold up your end of the bargain. So that's why I'm taking a week off next week. All right. We'll see you guys. Go ahead, Phil, wrap it.
Guys, thank you so very much. No Smart Guys next week. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the Elimination Chamber recap, Monday Night Raw, and everything else that comes with it, plus Grill Phil and all the good stuff. So thank you all. Thanks for your support. Sincerely, we jest. Have a good night. See you next time. Bye-bye.